Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle. I started a little bit early tonight because I want to talk about something for the first few minutes of this stream, and then I want to move on from it. I do not want the stream to become about this because that's not what this stream is about. Wrenches. You have a wrench, and I know sometimes y'all don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. And I will say hello to everyone and move into Oracle, but please just give me the courtesy of 5 minutes of your time, okay? This is important and it's serious. So wrenches, if you're not sure what's going on, ask. And even if it's someone we know very well, if you have to block them, you look at what someone's saying is rude, not courteous, harassing, abusive, or making anyone uncomfortable, and it's someone we know, ask them to stop once, and you have the right to block them. If I feel like it was unwarranted, I can easily go in and unblock them. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Last night, Guardian Jackpot was in Lara's stream. I did not see it until the very end because I don't watch the streams because at that time I'm with my son and we're usually getting ready for bed. I threw my wig back on. I was ready to pop into the stream right when Miss Pixie ended. I don't care how much money someone's donating. And I even tried to see if I could refund the donated money, but YouTube takes their 49% out immediately, and I'm not out of pocket giving money back. So I did try just on the principle of it. There is no excuse. And actually, I think it's a lot of nerve that someone would come on my channel into one of my streams and verbally abuse, harass, and attack someone who's streaming on my channel, my sister, Miss Pixie, okay? I am angry. I unblocked that person hoping they come back in here. So Guardian Jackpot, if you're listening, please come back in here because I would love to understand why, first of all, start your own channel, okay? My 3-year-old accidentally uploaded a video onto YouTube a few years ago, and I had to take it away from him and shut everything down because I didn't realize how easy it was to do. So literally a 3-year-old can do it. You have something you want to talk about, you have something you want to say, start your own channel and start talking about it. How dare you come in and harass Lara? Because first of all, we don't get political on this channel because trust me, I have a lot to say politically, but I keep it to myself because that's not what my channel is about. Secondly, she has the right to speak about whatever she wants on her stream. She doesn't have to immediately switch up what she's talking about to help you. So let's go through some of this, shall we? And Miss Pixie, this is not to embarrass you. This is to embarrass that person. And we will be starting Oracle in about 4 minutes, guys. I have it all here, so hold on. Now I've got to find it. I am boiling angry. To come into my stream and say, calling you to service, deputizing you in the angelic order. First of all, who are you to deputize someone in the angelic order? I don't know. Just make the phone call. Make them listen. 30 days. Save a life. Indigo child or no wings for you. I can't unlock if you don't agree. I have to turn and burn to Utah. Don't have time to deal with it myself. Lara, I am the ordained and appointed Archon of Judgment Day, working with the archangels, of which I am of equal rank. So seriously, this person clearly has some serious mental illness going on in here. I'm the help sent after prayer. I deputize you, unlock wings. Do you know how blasphemous that is, first of all? Terrible energy. Lara, I am a boss. I need people because I'm short of time. Have to delegate this responsibility to you since you have fibro and the same mother effing disease. And there's one more that took the cake for me. And it seems I don't have it. Oh, here it is. You have been given the perfect opportunity, once in a lifetime chance to save not just a life, but your own as well, and won't lift a finger to help God chosen one, ye of little faith. Disgusting human weakness. Go to hell, Lara. Fragile, pathetic excuse for a human being. I have never been so disappointed in my entire life. Guardian Jackpot. Sir or Miss Keyboard Warrior, please email me and explain to me how you got your rank. I think the places with the padded rooms are probably looking for you somewhere. Is that why you have to turn and burn to Utah, because you escaped from some sort of asylum? Anybody under an angelic rule, first of all, that doesn't happen. I've never heard of that in the 41 years of my being a medium or a spiritualist, okay, or a Christian for that matter, okay? Never heard of that. Doesn't happen as far as I'm concerned. I talked to my guides about it. I even spoke to some deceased about it. Doesn't happen. But I feel like anyone working for the angels wouldn't even have the ability to say something so horrible, abusive, and disgusting as what you said to Lara. Okay? Try coming in here and saying something like that to me. Actually, you probably will, because then you can hide behind the screen, right? You email me all this insane nonsense and leave this craziness in my comments, and it's my fault because I was trying to be polite and be nice to you and just kind of let it go, knowing that you're a weirdo and obviously have some issues going on. And I didn't want to call you out for it, but you've taken it a step far now, being abusive to my sister, to a friend of mine on my channel. And I say, how dare you? I say you have no rank. I say get help. You're sick. Okay? Don't ever come into my stream again. I'm hoping you actually don't hear this and come in tonight so I can say this all while you're listening. It's disgusting. It's filthy. It makes me sick to my stomach. And I think you're a horrible human being that has no rank, just delusion that somebody in your life is probably feeding into, right? This reminded me of like that group of vampire killers where the one guy's like, I am Adolf, a 3,000-year-old vampire. Now we have to go murder people. The kids were like, he's Adolf, a 3,000-year-old vampire. Who is feeding your delusion? Sick, sicko. I understand what happened with the wrenches. I was thinking about it and I'm like, well, first of all, the person was donating, which, just so you guys know, doesn't matter. I don't need money that badly. Okay. And I even did try to see if I could return it. And plus, it's someone we know. And this person leaves bizarre comments all the time, but it takes all kinds, right? And I don't judge people, and I'm not rude to people. If you want to leave weird things, that's fine. But when you cross over the line, when you come into my chat and start being abusive in that way to someone, especially like Lara, like what has she done? If you have something you want to discuss that's so important to you, start your own channel. My 3-year-old accidentally did it. Okay? I know you guys just, and I said that to Ghost Dragons. I'm like, I think it's not that it was about not wanting to do what a wrench does or be protective. Number one, we knew the person. Number two, they were donating. And number three, it went from kind of weird, which we get a lot, to abusive and nasty and mean. And they did that right at the end there because they knew it was going to end and stop. But we screenshotted everything. And I also am going to be reporting them to YouTube. Personally as a creator, as well as the reports that were sent in last night as well. They can't say they didn't say the stuff. They'll just start another account. I mean, it is what it is. But I want everyone to know that I have Lara's back, obviously, and I will always have all of your guys' backs. You guys are my family. I'm really angry. I've been getting bullied a lot myself personally on YouTube in the shorts, which is why most of the comments are off, or like in my comment sections. It kind of rolls right off me at this point because I'm like, whatever. But to come out of the woodwork and you're somebody that I called friend and then I welcomed into my chat, that makes you even more of a loser and just like the worst type of person. It's gross. And it made me feel really disgusted and angry. Yeah, weird's what we do, but exactly. And that's why it's kind of like, okay, this person's a little weird, but welcome in. No, then you go downright abusive right before stream ends so that nobody knows what's going on. And it's just not acceptable. So wrenches, I just wanted to say from now on, if Lara even decides to continue streaming, because I don't blame her, this has really affected her in a negative way. A lot of us were bullied as kids. A lot of us were bullied as adults, and some of us are still bullied now by certain people. So to have that come at her out of nowhere really affected her. And Lara, not to talk about you if you're listening, like, you know, I'm speaking for you, but I know how it feels because it happens to me all the time. And it's like getting right back onto the playground being bullied. And it is very traumatic. And that's the only time I'm going to waste on guardian jackpot bullying Lara. I want to make it known. I'm also going to tell other creators what happened, that I know that person frequents their channel, and it's just not acceptable. And anyone that accepts that in the community is no friend of mine. So I just want it. So from now on, I went off on a tangent. Wrenches, it doesn't matter if they're donating. It doesn't matter if it's someone we know. If someone starts getting abusive, cursing, name calling, don't be afraid to give them a warning, put them in a timeout, or just block them and let Ghost Dragons or me know that you did that so that I can look back on it, see if it's warranted. If it's someone I know personally, maybe talk to them and let them back on, or I trust your guys' judgment. I think it's just that we don't know what to do because we're kind of not used to that anymore. So yeah, Anna, I did see that. If you saw the first thing I put in the comments and then I saw you right underneath, I want Lara to know that it wasn't purposefully done to like allow this to happen to her. I think everyone, even I, when I was first reading it, I had to read it like 10 times. And I kept saying to Ghost Dragons, like, wait, what? Like who? I didn't understand because it's the person that we've taken into our community here. And it was mind blowing, but don't be afraid. I don't care if they're donating. I don't care if it's someone who's in here every single week. If they become abusive, they've got to go. I don't want that energy on my channel. I don't want those types of people on my channel. And, you know, Guardian Jackpot, turn and burn back to Utah, baby. I'm sure there's a lot of padded cells there that can hold you and attain you while you work this out with you and your higher power. Okay? Because you should probably atone for what you did. Not a good idea to mess with my friend and try to use spirituality against her or threaten her with it. I'm not the right one for that. In fact, you really got the wrong one. And that's not a threat. I'm just saying, you know, some people actually are connected. Some people actually can curse people. I wouldn't just run around saying that to people and throwing those random threats out there because you never know what's going to bounce back and stick onto you. With that being said, I'm bringing in Ghostdragonzw, and we're going to move on with our beautiful night. Let me say hi, Paradox Fossils. Let me say hi to everyone. Miss Batmom, Miss Lotus Girl. I know everyone's going through. Melissa Nicole, Raymond, Miss Pixie, my beautiful sister. Oh, I was ready to jump on this stream last night. The minute I hit the stream yard, you guys ended. I was just going to pop in, pull you out, and just go off. Like I was ready. We have the right to defend ourselves. Blue Crossroads, what's up, sweetie? Hilton, so good to see you. Jason Pritchard, Vera Ray. Sorry you guys had to see me like that, but I'm just tired of the bullying. I really am. It's so disgusting. We are grown adults bullying other grown adults. I work for the archangels. Well, great. Then you would not physically be able to bully if that were the case. Val, what's up, girl? Mark Hall said, hello, slow motion. Paradox Fossils, Alan. I have a big back. If anyone has to leave early for any reason, just let us know and we'll try to fit you in as best we can. I want everyone who came in for a reading to get one. All right, let me bring in the Ghost Dragon. And you are definitely one of the people, and this is not to say anything bad about anyone else. Like I said, I understand it because I saw how it unfolded. But I did see that. And Ghost Dragon was like, Edna was ready. And I'm like, well, good. I want you guys to know, yes, we're nice and we accept everybody, but that we do not accept. Block them. I don't care who they are. Like I said, if it's someone I know personally, I'll speak to them and make them publicly apologize, maybe let them back in. But someone that just is around leaving weird comments, I feel dirty even receiving the money. But YouTube takes their 49% immediately. So if I were to refund the money, I'd have to refund it out of my own pocket. And I don't even have that much money to give them. Yes, group hug, guys. Bring it in.
Hello. Big hugs.
Let's re-energize. I wanted to talk to you guys real quick. A lot of you have so much going on. I was on the phone with Miss Darling Deb, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and it just occurred to me, we have 2 eclipses during a retrograde. What's up, little bit? I was just mentioning you in our conversation yesterday about the 2 eclipses and the retrograde, guys. This is how, like, how withdrawn I've been, even energetically, even in my own personal life, that I didn't even realize it was retrograde. But this is making sense. This is making sense why we're all going through all this. Wait till the second week of May. Ride it out, guys. It's going to be okay. This retrograde is a time for really looking back and reviewing the lessons we've learned since the last one, right? In our lives, in the past few months, however long it's been, and then taking those lessons forward. This is the universe's way of saying, stop, stop. Mercury looks like it's going backwards. It's actually not. What do we need to do? We need to look a little bit backwards for the sake of the lessons we've learned, start applying them and moving forward. And the easiest, that we can do this, the easier that we can do this, the easier we will shed it and move forward, right? It's very, saying, people say that to me too. They're like, don't let it get to you. It's just jealousy or it's just insanity. I know, but it still hurts when someone's like, go, off yourself because you're ugly, or go off yourself because the sound of your voice makes, sounds like nails on a chalkboard to me, or go off yourself because you're so old on YouTube. Like, it hits you in a certain place, especially when you're like most of us and you've been in that position as a kid, being bullied. So I just want Lara to feel protected. And I want her to know that you guys got her back when I'm not there. She doesn't have the ability right now to be able to go and block somebody, and because of her equipment and her setup. That's why Ghost Dragons is there with her. But honestly, I feel better with him there with her, even if she did, because it's Lara. And Lara, this is praising you. I'm not saying anything against you. It's just like, who bothers Lara? Like, who literally who bothers Lara of all people? Like, come on. She's like the nicest person.
I was like, well, at first I was like, okay, it's getting weird, but they are donating money. And then everybody that's here that was there knew I was popping in the screen, and I was in no shape to be popping. You could tell I had been through a day, and it was like, come on, man, enough is enough.
Yeah, and that's when you message me. You're like, listen, this person, I don't know if we know them, but they're donating a lot, but they're also like being weird. I think we're afraid to call someone a bully, in this community, because we've all been bullied. But I'm going to call it what it is. That was weirdo stuff, and that was bullying. And I believe that came from this person's frustration at Miss Lara for how well she's doing, how wonderful she is, how beautiful her energy is, and how she more than likely is connected closer to the angels than that person ever would be. I don't know what kind of voodoo butt stuff that person's doing. Not butt stuff. I was going to say voodoo ass stuff, but I'm trying to keep it clean. Okay. Yes. Ghostdragonzw looks very sharp, especially the days that we've all been having. Batmom, I know.
Yeah, I know you were ready to pounce. You were ready to pounce. I know you were. And I was kind of expecting it sooner, but it was like I was kind of wanting to see where he went, because I was catching it on. I was trying to catch everything.
Batmom, I think that was the general consensus. Nobody really wanted to say anything because everyone walks on eggshells, but for good reason, because we don't want to be quick to judge something weird that someone's saying. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to just see a weird thing and be like, oh, because people have done that to us, and that's not what we do here. But when it starts getting like that, you guys have my permission every single time. Block them. I don't need their money that bad. I don't need their subscription that bad. I don't need them that bad. No way. No. Heather B, multifaceted jewels. Well, thank you, ma'am.
Well, my goal was just to see where it went, because you got to have proof if something goes wrong. So
that mom said I judged him immediately. you know, I try not to in my comments. If you guys go back, it may not show now because they're blocked, but there's some weird stuff that they would put in, and I'd be like, oh, okay, you know, that's interesting. But they are one of the reasons I kind of cringe at checking my emails, to be honest with you guys. So that'll be a big break for me. And Batmom, yes, I did say May. Yes, we're only in March, but we're coming to the end of it. And I know 6 weeks seems like a long time, but I promise you guys, the energy, the air is going to be so much clearer and cleaner, especially for those of us who are learning from our mistakes, not righting wrongs, not dwelling, just being like, oh, okay, that really horrible thing, I see why that happened. So now that it's on time, let's get started and let's just jump right into the readings. Lara, we've got your back. We love you. F that person. Oh, F that person. You know, good riddance to bad rubbish is what I say. You did nothing wrong. In fact, you were very gracious and graceful, because I would not have been the same way. I was jumping on, hoping I was the big winner. Yeah, I know you got to be in it to win it, though. But the retreat is coming. You know, I am determined. I gave myself a 10-year plan 2 years ago. So, I mean, will it end up being a 12-year? Maybe. Yeah, Hilton, it's hard to separate the weird from the really weird. That's absolutely from the psycho, basically. There's weird and then there's psycho. And I don't do well with psycho. All right, who's first? Let's just get this party started.
Batmom.
Batmom, let's see. What are we doing? Let's start off with gentle creatures. Yeah, Batmom, I know it's really bad. But it hit me all at once yesterday. I was like, holy crap, there's a retrograde coming in on the 1st. So we've had 2 weeks of the shadow phase. The eclipse is, you know, the eclipse energy. And then, you know, the fact that March usually stinks anyway because everything's transitioning. Everyone thinks March brings in like the brightness. No, April usually does. That's when things really start changing. Multifaceted Jules, do not apologize. Whenever it gets here, it gets here. I'm just excited to receive it. Like I said, you do you. And it's okay. I get it with the boxes. I've dealt with them having to send them out before. I know how overwhelming it can be. You take your time. You do what you need to do. And I will just be blessed when I receive it. And yes, I absolutely will. I will send them, forward them to them if that's what you'd like to do. I have no problem doing that. It's not a lot of postage. Darling Deb, your box went out this morning. All right, Miss Batmom, you got the card of stories. I love this little deck. It reminds me of the I send Ray. What is it? Journey of the Into the Lonely Woods. It's the same little creatures. They're so cute. Okay. We all have stories to share. Let me fix the screen real fast. We all have stories to share. We all want someone to listen to them as much as we need authentic tales from them. Here, 2 friends have taken the time to just get away from everything else. Now they enjoy the company of one another. In a perfect world, we all have someone who will listen to us, that companion who will simply hold space for us as we share our innermost thoughts. When we will proffer them the same sacred act of listening to them without judgment. We can all create this marvelous place. It may not be inside a tent lit by a lantern. It may not be in the deepest part of some ancient forest. Wherever it is, though, the gift we can offer to one another is simply to hear each other's stories. When you share your story with authenticity, you return that gift. I don't really think this has a lot to do with storytelling. Okay, I feel like this is you really needing to be seen and to be heard in your own space, regardless of what it is you're saying, right? I feel like there's something you're trying to deal with that you've been trying to deal with for a while now. And it's like, no matter how many times or how many different ways you explain this, it's not getting through to the person. They claim to understand. And at the end of the day, they go, I'm doing the same exact thing. Now, this could be a lover. This could be a friend. I mean, it could literally be anyone in your life that you've gone the extra mile for with explanation. You know, like me, I only like to explain things once, maybe twice. There are certain people, though, if I feel they're not getting it, I'll explain 8 million times. And that gets exhausting in its own right. When do we accept the fact that Jules, I love it. When do we get the fact that this person does understand? They're just purposely making us over explain and like playing confused. And I'm not saying this person is even a bad person or a bad influence in your life, but with whatever this situation is, this person understands you. They hear you. Okay. They just don't want to. Okay. They're not willing to either put in the effort or make the necessary changes. Like whatever this is you're asking for, please don't hold your breath until it happens. So here's the thing, right? What do you do now? Because you can't possibly feel like there's another way to explain this or to ask for this or to whatever it is, right? So now you have to decide what to do next. Are you just going to accept that this person is not going to do, say, whatever this is? Or are you going to continue to exhaust yourself trying to get it through their head? Because trust me, they got it like the first 2 times that you said it. They understood completely. This playing confused, pretending they forgot, like this is BS. Your goal or your homework in the next week or 2 is to really sit down and figure out that right there. And I personally really, really, really can relate to that. This card isn't saying that if you can't handle that, you're expected to pick up and walk out the door, slamming it behind you in this big movie drama. But it does mean start understanding what your future is going to look like with this person, without them, and make the necessary arrangements if necessary. It doesn't matter if it's going to take 5 years, 10 years, just that fact of, okay, I accept this now, that this is what my life will be, and move from there. You don't have to like make this whole long step-by-step list of a plan. Just knowing in your head that this is what's happening should be enough to move you one way or another. Just one step in the right direction, and then the universe will provide the rest of the way. I know it does. I know. Trust me, I know. It's one of the most horrible things, especially when you realize that all along they've been playing this confused role. And you've been sitting there like, I'm really a bad communicator. Obviously, I don't know how to communicate my emotions or my feelings, my wants, my needs. But you do. And you've been explaining it beautifully. It's just this person doesn't want to hear it. They don't care enough to hear it. And they may love you very much, but it may just be this one thing that they are just not ready, willing, able, or going to accept and work with. So you have some decisions to make. You have all the time in the world, but whichever way you choose to go, the universe will provide those baby steps, those little steps, those crawls if necessary, okay, to move you into a much better energetic space. You cannot continue bettering yourself when the person that you're expecting or that should be the closest to you refuses to not only help better you and support you in that, but also who refuses to better themselves, or even take into consideration your thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas. It's not how human beings were meant to live. It's not how we were meant to survive or be in relationships. Any kind of relationship, regardless. Relationships are give and take of energy. Otherwise, one person will end up completely drained and the other person will end up completely full. Period. And I'm so sorry you have to go through that. You said Lotus?
Yes. I'm going to timestamp her too, just in case she's disposed of.
Yeah.
Or not.
All right, Lotus, I'm sorry. I'm going to use energy and spirit. Everyone's loving your tie tonight. I got a blue wig. Yeah. A brown wig with chunky highlights in it and bangs. It kind of looked just like this. And I was like, yes, finally a brown wig, long, curly. Right here in this area, it was really wiggy. So I've got to get my money back. Try another one. The one Miss Lara got me, the burgundy one, was really, really nice, but I want to get like a blackish brown one as well. Happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. Yes, thank you so much, Mark. You are amazing. Thank you for being a member for 6 months and putting up with me. As soon as I get a few more members, I'll be able to do more for the members. So I do appreciate you guys just hanging out and taking the extra video. It's kind of what I can do right now. Monday's members only video. I'm so proud of the work I did on this video, more so than like I've been in months. And I've been kind of hitting a wall with the pre-recordeds. That's why I'm taking the week off too. I just need a break from it. I covered Cabin 28, the Ketty cabin murders. I'm really proud of that video. I can't wait for it to premiere, and I can't wait to get the feedback. Slow motion. All right. Miss Girl. Joy, Blessings, Intuition, Archangel, Hanuel. I wonder if that's one of Guardian Jackpot's friends. Hanuel. I'm sorry. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Who aligns themselves with archangels and then bullies somebody and cusses?
Well,
okay. Lotus Girl, you got this in the reverse. Haniel reversed indicates that something may be blocking your happiness at this time. This may be a person or situation that seems external to you, but remember, the source of your peace and happiness always lies in your perception. No matter what's going on, you always have the power to take outer action and shift your inner view of things. Ultimately, it's you who determines the emotional quality of your life. Greater happiness and appreciation increases your intuition as well. Haniel can bring guidance about any unhappy situation. You can ask her to boost the joy in your life at any time. She's been known to shift unhappy moods in just a matter of moments. I will say angels do not have genders. They usually look more male and sound more female. Work with Haniel, Haniel, Lotus. Just like you talk to God, or you talk to your deceased loved ones, or you talk to your guides, right? Work Haniel into there. I do feel like I'll call her she because that's what the card is calling her. I do feel like she can help you with the transition with your cat as well and give you some information. Monkey, as we discussed earlier, probably not going to survive. And I think you making the choice, one way or the other, is going to really show the universe something, right? Not just waiting for the universe to do something, but understanding what the universe is currently doing, which is moving your cat on from this life. Being accepting of that, even if you're devastated, and thanking the universe for taking Monkey for the time you had with her, for giving you the extra time, and for bringing her home, right? If you can figure out a way to do that with all your heart, I feel like a lot of your blocks are going to lift, and with it, a lot of your unhappiness and a lot of your seeing the glass half empty. You are not a pessimistic person by nature, but in the last 6 months, I've seen it happen to a lot of us, myself included. We have gone from, I don't care, I have a half glass of water, that's great, to why do I always only have a sip of water in my cup when I fill everyone else's? Like, what reserve am I pulling? I've seen a lot of people, myself included, go from one extreme to the other. It's the energy, guys. And if we can get more used to learning and working with the energy, it's like, who has time for that? One more thing to add on to our plate? No. Quick Google search. What's going on with astrology right now for your moon sign? Moon sign specifically, guys, that's what's going to affect the most. So I would look up astrology for Libra this week. As far as the planets, quick Google search, 4 or 5 minute read, maybe less. Then you can understand the energy you're working with. That's what I have to do. And that's what I stopped doing about 6 months ago when I fell into this woe is me, how am I going to survive rut? And I realized that the other day, and I started journaling again. I started my 555 manifestations again. And I started the quick searches. What is the energy? What am I dealing with? That's how I realized it's a retrograde. Thank you, Haniel, for your blessings and of happiness and greater intuition. Every day I perceive and appreciate the joys in my life. Miss Tennille, also know that this week, one day this week, I'm not sure which day, I will be doing your reading for May. So I get a head start on those. I always start with the same few people because I know those few people don't care if I do it so early. So I will be starting on that. Thank you, Mr. Mark. Heather, it's so hard. I even wrote about a week ago when I started journaling again. I'm like, I hate journaling. It's like the worst. but I'm going to give it a crack. And you know what? It does help me. I do feel better afterwards because everything that I feel like I can't say out loud, shouldn't say out loud, I put in there. And if you're in a position where you have to worry about someone finding it, just burn the pages. Burn the pages when you're done. Obviously use like a fire safe bowl, burn the pages or shred the pages. It's just the release of it, guys. It's the release. It's not necessarily me. I do it too to like keep a record of things because I'm very forgetful. But it's also like the release of being able to get that stuff out, get those things out. Every day is a good day. Some are just better than others. That is a great way to look at things. If we can all remain in that space forever, that would be great. But as human beings, we do tend to err on the side of negativity without even realizing we're doing it. Again, myself included. So I watch too much ID. Girl, I've seen everything on there 100 times. I'm just saying. Well, as far as the true crime and the paranormal stuff, I don't watch the rest of it. One day, y'all are going to see me on ID because I'm going to be on one of the paranormal shows on the Travel Channel. That is ultimate long-term goal number 2. Who's next?
They're going to see me on their ID too. The burger that didn't get away, finally. Anyways, next is Cindy Lee.
Mama Cindy, I'm going to use Wild Woman. Mark, I think a lot of people don't, but I think that's because everyone has like their own, you know? And I did get your message and I did. You're like, before you go on break, can you do this? Yes, but not until whenever my mom comes to take over RJ, but I did keep them. I know it's bad of me that I made you wait this long, but you gave me the kick in the butt, which I asked you to do. I was like, listen, if I'm blowing you off, just be like, dude, why are you blowing me off? I need you to do this. And you did that. And I love you for that because a lot of people are afraid they're bothering me. Just do it. I have it. I'm ready. I just have to wait until I have the right space, which is RJ free, to be able to review it, give you my advice, and go through it. All right. Thank you for acknowledging that, though, because it is a lot. I'm very emotional right now, just from the way we started out this stream. You know, I will go to bat for any one of you. What's up, Nutslap? Hilton, just let us know if you want a reading, if you have to leave early, okay? Oh, you're welcome, Mama Cindy. Thank you for being amazing. All right, January's rebirth, the card of rebirth. Yeah, and I thought that was a given, but I thought about it and I realized it's not because, listen, I don't need subscriptions that bad to watch my friends be beaten down and abused. I just don't. You know, my channel will grow organically. Yeah, you have my full permission and I will always trust your judgment, you know? One more thing I wanted to say before I read for Mama Cindy. Oh, this wasn't it, but here's something. I joined TikTok, guys. I didn't post anything yet. I'm not going to be posting until we are done with spring break. So not until next Monday, but I will. I'm going to be posting Oracle to TikTok. I'm going to try not to get caught up and just stick to Oracle, but who knows? So it's Gemma Jade YT. 3 different words, Gemma Jade YT. If you want to go and preemptively subscribe or follow me, whatever it's called over there, if you already have it. All right. January's rebirth card number 29 for Mama Cindy Lee. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry. So when I was on a certain channel, I don't want to say it by name because I don't want to feel like I'm attacking anyone. I was a host on the show and the show was really, really popular. The reason I left is because someone came, the reason that was like the final straw for me. Somebody came in the chat and started calling me all kinds of names and cussing at me. And I kept timing them out. I must have timed them out 15 times. Finally, as a host, I made an executive decision to block this person. I was going to tell the owner of the show, like, listen, I don't care if you put them back on, but I couldn't have them in the chat in that moment disrespecting me in that way. Before the stream was even over, the person that owned the show, my boss, even though he never paid us, let the person back in immediately and said, I'm the only person who blocks people. I left the show right there in the middle of the show. A lot of you guys probably remember what it was, and I never went back. And that is the reason. Mama Cindy, in what ways is your higher self calling you to step up so that you can give birth to a new version of yourself who is wiser, more aware of your own needs, and more authentic? This card reminds you that we come to Earth to learn lessons and to grow, and often do so by making mistakes. We discover our needs after repeatedly putting ourselves into relationships where our needs are not met. We discover who we truly are after we tire of juggling too many masks. This is the nature of the journey we signed up for as souls living the human experience. Acknowledge your mistakes, Mama Cindy, and ponder what these errors have taught you about yourself. About your true self, needs, and most authentic desires. Throughout our lives, our higher self will call us to initiate a rebirth of the self, and so many of us are going through that right now. This is the time of rebirth in 2024. I said in the beginning of 2023 it was coming. Here it is, guys. That's why it's been so hard for most of us. To show up for ourselves every day to the best of our ability, and as we want others to show up for us, to stop fooling ourselves into thinking that we can somehow achieve more inner and outer freedom without first achieving greater self-discipline, to recognize that everything occurring in our external reality, quote unquote good or quote unquote bad, is mirroring a lesson that we have yet to grasp inside, internally. Miss Pixie, totally understandable. Totally understandable. But we got your back, okay? 100%. Mama Cindy, on a bitterly cold January eve, a young woman has consulted the tarot. A crow and coyote, the wise fools of the animal world, and the fool, always represented by 0, point her to both a completion and a beginning. She must let go of past folly, yet seek to understand the hidden motivations behind those mistakes so that she can learn from them. The Temperance card signals that she must understand her unique needs for mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being, then set firm boundaries around them. So what do we say here, gemstones? It's not about setting boundaries. It's about enforcing boundaries, right? Because it's so easy to set a boundary. Like, I do it in my sleep. I'm just saying. The Justice card directs her to better hear the voice of the higher self by shutting out outside influences, because all the answers she seeks are within, and she alone can decide for herself what is truth with a capital T. So here we go. Mama Cindy, this is the time of rebirth, of growth, and of change. But I feel like this is something uniquely different, like very unique than anything you've ever experienced before. Because while you're still Mama Cindy and you're still focused on, helping others and doing what you do for other people, your family, your friends, the people you love most in your daily life, there's also a part of you that is seeking your own happiness, or at least your own contentment, a little bit more than ever before. And that is not a selfish thing. That's a wonderful thing. Like, you're sitting there thinking, like, how can I make myself happy today? How can I respect myself right now because that person just really disrespected me? Instead of looking to the person who disrespected you, thinking like, hello, apology. You got to make that better. What you just did, you have to make better. No, mama, you are past that. You are like, I'm going to validate myself, and I'm going to make what they just did better and slowly remove myself from their energy. And if you don't know that feeling, you will in the next week or two, because it is rushing at you like a freight train. It's like the validation from others. You're just not getting it the way that you are validating others. So it's not being reciprocated the way that it should be. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with your relationships. It just means you and whoever these people are not vibrating at the same level. You're not even on their level, so to speak. This is you validating yourself, validating your own experiences, your own feelings, your own emotions, and feeling good about doing it, right? Not like, well, oh God, great. So now I have to nurse my heart back together because this person broke it. It's like, no, okay, well, you feel that way, screw you. I'm going to go do me now, and I'm going to feel good about doing it. This is like the no regrets boss bitch type energy here. And I'm so glad it's coming in for you, because I feel like you've always been the caregiver. And though people have cared for you and have given to you and have done for you, I feel like you might be one of those people, like a lot of us in here, that always feels like you're the one giving in. You're the one forgiving. You're the one making the first move. You're the one extending the olive branch. You're the one. No more. It's like you will still do those things, but to a lesser degree and more so for yourself. Yes, it is. Deb, it really is. Who's next?
Melissa. Miss Bacon.
I think it was like late 70s, early 80s. I don't know how I know that.
Late 70s.
Mark, that's good. I feel like we're all in such a different place, but we're all in the same place energetically. The thing is, we're all dealing with the same energetic overwhelm, right? The energetic overwhelm, but we're all handling it different for our different situations and where we're headed. So while you guys might like think of my situation and be like, okay, I know that my plan would be to do this, you would be perfectly right to want that to be your plan. But you don't know the intricacies and nuances, just like I don't know about all of y'all's situations. We have to make our own decisions. We have to validate ourselves, specifically when others won't do it. I told you guys last week, someone said to me, I said, you just really hurt my feelings. You broke my heart. Like, how could you not comfort me? And the person said, because your feelings shouldn't be hurt. That is not, like, that's not how this works, right? Like, even if you don't understand why someone's feelings are hurt over something you said or did, you should care enough about the person to understand you are the one who hurt them. But some people just aren't there, and we have to give them grace. And the more grace we give them, that doesn't mean being a doormat, but that just means understanding that they're not, you know, as spiritually evolved as we are. That's when we learn grace, and that's when we can give it to ourselves. And that's what you're being called to do here, Miss Cindy. You're welcome. Who's next?
Melissa.
Blue Cross Rose, I'm not going there. Let's get off the corn subject before I get demonetized, because YouTube is that petty and I went off on a tangent in the beginning. So, you know, I'm sorry. I don't care enough to allow bullying in my stream. So, yeah, you can do OnlyFans for anything. That just happens to be what it turned into, right? I remember someone years ago, like 6-7 years ago, maybe even before that, was trying to tell me to do OnlyFans. And I'm like, what is that? And they're like, I'm like, it's not anything like that. And they're like, no, it's not that. You can do whatever you want there. You just put up pretty pictures of yourself. I never forgave that person for what I had to see when I actually looked at what OnlyFans was. Yeah, I was so gullible, and I was so like I didn't know anything about, I didn't even know YouTube existed until 2018 for anything other than playing music. So, you know, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Who am I reading for? I'm shuffling the Lilith deck.
Melissa.
Okay. Happy Easter. Yeah, I call it corn when I have to mention it. Okay. Pluto. Hilton. It's where women go to show off their bodies for money. That's the nicest way that I can put it. It is not just, I mean, it could be just uploading pretty pictures of yourself, but I'm the mother of 4 sons, 3 of them grown adults. Not to mention, I'm way beyond doing things like that. I've never, you know what I mean? That's never been me or my thing. So my feet, now that's a whole different story. I'll take all the creeps from Facebook Messenger, the feet people, and go put pictures of my feet. I mean, why not?
Make them pay for it.
Endings and regeneration, Melissa, card number 31. It's weird. I just heard someone outside my house, but nobody should be here. Melissa, misalignment can manifest physically as the uneasy feeling in the pit of your stomach. Pluto can sense this and likes to break everything down and remove what no longer serves you. It teaches us that beginnings and endings are intrinsically tied together in the natural cycle of life. Hidden wealth, inheritances, and debts are also a part of Pluto, indicating change in this area of your life. Allow this transformative wave to pass over you. It will wash away the shadows that have held you back from activating your light. In ancient Greco-Roman mythology, Pluto was the lord of the underworld and hidden wealth, also known as Hades in Greece. He presided over Earth's lower realms and the rich gems, minerals, and metals found in the ground. Pluto is the planetary ruler of the fixed water sign of Scorpio. Scorpio rules alchemy, sex, death, rebirth, psychology, the occult, secrets, and transformation. While it's a malefic planet and can be difficult, there is much to gain when your Pluto is integrated, as it can unlock your soul's hidden riches. Pluto is a generational planet in astrology, so each age group has the same Pluto sign. While Pluto can create chaos, it also brings to light what we have swept under the rug to be healed. Understanding Pluto in your own life is tremendous shadow work, and integrating yours can lead to personal empowerment and evolution. The following is a brief alchemical guide to the area of life where you will experience ego deaths, change, karmic events, and transformative triggers. I don't know. I don't know what year you were born, Melissa. So my Pluto is in Libra, which makes sense because a lot of my hard times have dealt with relationships, equality, and love. But I have a feeling you were born after 84. So 80 or 83. I'm making myself younger by a year. Your Pluto is more than likely in Scorpio. So it's 84 to 95. And crisis, death, and regeneration. Death, of course, meaning, yeah, I knew it. Scorpio, crisis, death, regeneration, with death meaning a lot of major changes. So like feeling like everything's always changing around you. In the next week or two, Melissa, it's kind of like it's going to be in your head, in your mind, in your energy to really put your foot down and start fixing things. Like you've been thinking about it, maybe you've been planning it, you've been kind of taking steps and then kind of taking steps back and kind of, I don't want to say procrastinating because you've made up your mind. It's just a matter of like now executing what it is that you've decided to do. And in the next week or two, and I would extend that a little bit because of the retrograde. So I'd say like, again, the 4 to 6 weeks after the retrograde, I feel like by the time the second week of May comes, you are going to have a full blown, I want to say scheme, but I'm going to say plan because that sounds better. But your team is telling me scheme going of how you can finally, for once and for all, remove yourself and not have to deal with this ever again. Because it's one thing to remove yourself from a toxic, chaotic situation, but how do you ensure that you don't end up in one immediately after, right? How do you know, just say it's your romantic relationship, how do you know your next one isn't going to be that? The only way to be sure is by understanding the lessons that you've learned. And I feel like I said in the beginning, with the 2 eclipses, with the retrograde energy, it really is a time for looking back and understanding each lesson, why we had to suffer, why we had to struggle, how we're stronger because of it, and how we cannot make the same mistakes. That is going to be particularly important for you coming into the month of May. And I'm saying that because April is a retrograde, guys. It just is what it is. And I said to Deb yesterday, I'm like, until the second week of May, we're all screwed. And she started laughing, but I was like, I'm not, it's funny, but it's not, because it's true. Never ignoring another red flag. Good. And that, but you have to think about it. How would you have handled the last red flags, right? I replay the red flags in my head. And I'm like, I should have said this. I should have asserted this. I should have done this. I should have walked away at this point. You have to know the intricacies of how you should have, would have, could have behaved. Normally, we're not focusing on the should have, would have, could have, right? Because we're moving forward. We're not looking back. We're not going that way. This is the time to reflect on all of that. So you are so sure of it that it becomes a part of you and a part of your energy going forward.
Next is Raymond.
Okay, we're done. Yeah, I don't like feed either. I've mentioned it before, and I say it funny, but it is kind of annoying. I can't use Facebook Messenger because you think people would say, like, if I'm not using it, it's that bad. People are saying gross things. No, they're asking to see my feet, to smell my socks. Like, so about a year ago, maybe even longer, I just don't go into Messenger anymore unless someone says, hey, Gemma, I'm going to send this to you on Facebook Messenger. I'll go in, grab whatever that is and get out. And I don't know what it is. I'm a Pisces. I don't know. I don't really like talking about it. Again, I have sons, but it is weird. I call them the feet people. Who's next? Nut slap? No, don't go there. I don't want to get demonetized. The stories I could tell, but I can't.
You're welcome, hon. He distracted me. Raymond's next.
Eris, look at you sneaking in there. And yeah, it sure does. Raymond, I'm going to use Anne Stokes Gothic. It's so funny.
Hello, Eris. Sneaky.
And Melissa, sometimes it's the craziest things. Fantasy Forest. Raymond, I hope Norma's doing well this week and that she's good. You guys have really nice together energy. So guys, again, if you have TikTok, please look for me, Gemma Jade YT, 3 separate words. It would be nice to have like a few followers when I start uploading the content in a couple of weeks. Oh, some people were asking why I was uploading the 3rd week of April. We're still in March. That's because I'm going on a week break. So I wanted to make sure when I came back, I wasn't overwhelmed with a pile of work I have to catch up on. So I figured I'd just get a head start. That's all. The 3rd week of March is also there. So I do have Rumble too. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Melissa, no. Yeah, that makes sense. I have really big hips, so I have a much bigger pant size than most people would think, but it's because my hip bones literally break through my jeans. They're that pointy, or they were at one point, and I was so thin, but my hips were so big that it just was weird. My size chart was very strange. People still say it now. They're like skinny on top, skinny on the bottom, fat in the middle. I'm like, that's not what it's called. It's called pear-shaped. Raymond, a woman rides a grand white stag through the forest, sprinkling the ground with sparkles of light. This majestic animal is often linked to the unseen realms, bringing messages from the other world. Here, he is surrounded by nature in all of its nighttime glory. The fantasy forest is that place where we can connect with the other worlds. When we tap into our intuition or consult with our higher consciousness, this card represents the sphere in which we do it. We all rely on our intuition from time to time. For our ancestors and animal friends, checking into their gut feelings has made the difference between life and death. If this card has graced your reading, Raymond, it's time to consider how you feel. It doesn't suggest that you ignore logic, but rather trust in the messages that appear to come from within. Have you ever felt negatively about someone on a first meeting only to be proven right a few weeks later? Can you remember a time when you were called to do something that defied popular opinion, but it worked out better than you'd ever expected? These are examples of your intuition in action. Some will call it instinct or second sight, even our sixth sense. However you refer to it, you are being asked to lean on yours right now because it has something of relevance to tell you. So yeah, these intuitive hits, Raymond, that you've been getting, it may even seem like that too. Happy birthday, Andrew. Nomeo. I'm sorry, I didn't know. So, okay. They may really just be that. These tiny little hits of like, ooh, that didn't feel right. Maybe I shouldn't say that. And it's all going to culminate into you understanding, like, this is my intuition, this is my higher consciousness, my higher self, my spirit team telling me, warning me, telling me, urging me, stopping me. Working with that energy, Raymond, is one of the best things you could possibly do, especially for where you are specifically on your spiritual journey, because you're vibrating very high, because you've been through a lot. You've understood that you needed to learn the lessons. You learn them. You're putting them into practice. You're in a really good place as far as your spirituality and in your spiritualness, for lack of a better word. But I feel like there's something coming into play in the next few weeks that you are not going to want to listen to this, right? You are not going to want to, you're not going to want to acknowledge it. Like, I know, I'll use myself as an example. There have been times when I knew something was going to end up a certain way, but I was just like, well, you know what? I'm okay with that, because that's a while from now and I'm enjoying myself at this time. I'll just use the example of a relationship. Like, I know this relationship is not going to last, but it's much simpler. I'm not talking about mine now. I'm using this as a broad example. So please don't think I'm talking about my husband, because I'm not. I'm in a relationship and I'm like, oh, this is not going to last. This person is crazy. Like, I don't know, like whatever the case may be, but being like, but I'm having fun. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That type of energy. There is something going on here right now, as a matter of fact, Raymond, where you're not going to be able to do that. It's going to really end badly for you if you go by like the we'll cross that bridge as we get to it type of thinking just in the next couple of weeks. So if you get an intuitive hit, say it. I'm all for advocating blurting it out. Nope, that's not right. You're lying. I don't care. Like, if somebody did that, I'd be impressed. Right there on the spot, taking people to task in a kind and graceful way and calling them out. Like, nope, you're lying. You don't have to prove yourself. What kind of proof could you have? You guys come to me sometimes like wanting readings about your physical health or the health of an animal or a relationship. Like, I take that so seriously. That's amazing to me, because you guys go on faith, and by what I've shown you in the readings, that I'm a good person. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm being honest. But I cannot bring you guys tangible proof. I can't say, look, this is a document signed by, whoever, stating that. You have to go on faith. And I feel like the universe is asking you in the next few weeks, Raven, to just go on faith that your team has got your back. They're not going to steer you wrong. And your first instinct in a particular situation, as much as you don't want to accept it, is what it is. And you can deal with it now and accept it, or you can let it blow up down the line, and then you're going to have a bunch of more poop mess to deal with. All right. It's not a good situation. I feel like it has to do with another person that's like lying to you or just being disingenuous in some way. And it's like you want to hang on for the ride because what they're promising or whatever, or what they're telling you just sounds really good. That's the thing. It sounds really good, but there's nothing to it. And you know that. So you can either accept it or you can go along for the ride a little longer and let it all blow up. It's up to you. But obviously the universe wants to see you put your intuition into play properly, because the quicker you can learn, the quicker you do it once, then it becomes like a muscle, right? And you're just automatically going with the flow of your intuition. Who's next?
We're going to go ahead and do Andrew since it's his birthday, and then Pixie will be after him.
All right, Andrew, we're going to use the Shaman's Dream. Beautiful Montana. That sounds amazing. Guys, thank you so much for your support with purchasing my books in whatever format you purchase it in. Because of, I've told you guys many times about the contract. I lost a few $1,000s a month overnight. I'm so broke. Because of your guys supporting my books, I did just get at least a few bucks from those purchases. So it really does help. And it always comes at like the perfect time where I'm like, what am I going to do? And then it's like, here's some royalties. You guys are killing it with the books. And I appreciate it so much. The book writing in general, or specifically, is a dream come true for me. It's something I've wanted since I was a little girl, to see my name on a book and to see somebody reading my words that I created. It means the absolute world to me when you guys support me in that way. Ah, thank you. Oh, thank you. I love Nick Redfern. Because he's a reputable source, and you don't find many of them when discussing things like the BEK or even Bigfoot. Thank you, Nutslap. You just made my night. I'm blushing. He said, "Danger at your door is badass." Nick Redfern, who? I'm glad you guys are digging it, though. I really am. All right, Nomeo, let's see. Gathering around the power of community. Card number 26. Nomeo, there are times when you need positive reinforcement from others. Perhaps your journey has made you tired just before reaching the proverbial finish line, where your friends await to cheer your arrival. Know this. You're not alone, regardless of whether you think you are or not. People gather around to help with your next step as you bring it forth from the cosmos into the beauty of life. There has never been another you before, and you have a unique relationship with your friends, family, communities, and all those who gather to help you in the unseen realms. Now is the time to allow assistance from others. Ask for it and trust that you will receive it. You are safe and secure right now in this moment, truly supported in your beautiful, amazing, complicated life. You are heard by angels, witnessed by the divine, and loved. Yes, loved now and always by life itself. Whatever your query, you will find the help you need to achieve what you desire, and you will not have to do it alone. You can count on it. So, Melissa, I'll explain that after this reading. Andrew, you may be like, yeah, I don't need help, and I don't really think, because this is your birthday reading, that's not really what this is talking about. This is talking about going forward into the next year of your life, the next phase, right? Every year is a different phase. We learn bigger and harder lessons sometimes before it gets a lot easier and kind of evens out when we hit a certain point. And that point is different for everybody. As you go forward in the next year of your life, embrace more people. Trust more people, even if you've been taught, like me, like so many of us in here specifically, but like so many human beings, that you can't trust, that people are just going to be people. And that may be true, but you will always attract the right kinds of people to you and the wrong kinds of people to you based on your energy. You're at a point in your life this year where you can immediately distinguish the two, and you don't feel the need to play nice with those who are less. Not less than as humans, just less than where you're vibrating right now. Doesn't mean you're better, doesn't mean you're worse. It just means you're vibrating higher. You've learned more lessons. You're closer to spirit. You're doing a little better spiritually. And that's perfectly okay to understand that though you may like a person, do they have the same ideals, the same values? And maybe those things don't seem like they're important to you, but as you get through the next year, there are going to be things that come up, and I don't know what they are. I'm just giving you the message that you're really going to start thinking about what's next and who you want to be there and who you don't, and how to deal with the people you don't, and how to reject the people you don't in a way that you're comfortable with doing so. We don't want to just hurt people's feelings and break hearts, you little heartbreaker. But we do want to be honest with ourselves and be true to ourselves as well. So what I would say is, in the next week or two, just start thinking about your long-term goal. Where do you want to be at this point next year? And if you have no idea, think about it over the next 2 weeks, and then start, even if you're doing it just in your head, picking and choosing the type of people that you want to be there for you and with you on your journey. I feel like you're going to be meeting a lot more people this year because the universe is trying to bring a lot of those soul connections that you haven't connected with yet, that you should have by now, into your life all at once. I see you with a very big group of soul connected people around you, a bigger group than what I normally see on people. And the reason for that is because you may have missed some opportunities to bring those people in, or they missed opportunities to step into your life, into your light, your energy, your spirit. Okay. Don't have any qualms about telling people now's not the right time for that. I don't think we should be friends anymore. Nope, don't need your number. I'm probably not going to call you. Yes, it sounds like you're being a D word, but you know what? At the end of the day, do you want to call them, get into this really toxic, codependent, weird relationship and have to deal with all that 6 months from now? No. Stopping the drama, the chaos, the confusion, the craziness before it starts, that is what you're being asked to do as you go forward in the next year of your life. So Melissa Nicole had a very interesting question. She said, how do you feel about not being as recognized for your books personally? Because people may not realize you go by an alias. Most people that know me, I don't have people in my personal life anymore because I had to walk away from my friends because they were all either dealers or in addiction. So now the way they hear about what I'm doing is through my dad, who tells them my YouTube name. So by word of mouth, people come to know me as Gemma Jade. I did have a moment when the second book went bestseller that I was like, man, I should have put my name on these books. And, but I don't regret it because I feel like because of things I've done, I've been a normal human being. I wasn't the best person for a long time. I feel like I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did if I had used my real name, and like people I've screwed over or people who I've not had good relationships for whatever reason would have came out of the woodwork and like brought me down. So I'm actually glad that I used an alias because Gemma Jade is her own person. She's her own brand. She's who I've grown into and who I love being, right? At the end of the day, I'm still me, but I feel like people put respect on Gemma's name and not so much on the other name. And I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that because now there's this expectation of Gemma to deliver a certain thing in a certain way. And yeah, I really like it. At first I was a little bummed that I didn't use my real name. But again, anybody who knows Gemma Jade probably found me through YouTube and has always known me as Gemma Jade because personally, I sell books to like my mom and her side of the family. I don't really have friends in my real life buying my books or as far as I know, you know. Who's next?
Dear Miss Pixie.
Yes, nut slap, for sure. Pixie, I'm going to use the Angels and Ancestors deck. Bellingham, Washington, huh?
I don't know if you saw, but Nick Wise here too.
Nikki, no, I didn't see that. I was just talking about that show earlier, actually. Been thinking about marriage. Yeah, I didn't want to put that out there because, you know, nothing's a definite. When I get messages, I have to kind of sift through them based on what I know about the person. But that definitely makes sense. Just make sure that if you go into it feeling like you're wasting time, you probably are, right? If there's any hesitation because you have soul connections coming in, including a soulmate, a romantic soulmate. So when that person comes in, you're going to know immediately. If you're already stuck in a subpar relationship with somebody who you really weren't sure you wanted to get involved with in the first place because you didn't want to be rude or because you were lonely, it's going to cause some issues. So Blue Crossroads, you're absolutely right. Edna, yes. Blue Crossroads, that's really true. That happens a lot. Yeah. Already. Ryan Tremblay. Thank you. Go do your thing. We would, again, love to have you back. I watched that live stream so many times. It's just so interesting. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. So anytime, just let us know. I wanted to talk to you privately about if you've ever considered maybe writing a book or if you've written books. If you have, I'm sorry. I don't know. You have. I would like them.
Plenty of articles too. He's supposed to be sending me articles.
I would like them. Let me know where I can find them. We should have promoted them on the channel.
Yes.
Andrew, nice. All right, cool. Yeah, Ryan, that sounds great.
I told you there'd be a part 2.
Oh, New England Dirt Roadie messaged me, and he asked if I would be interested in him coming on either to a show with me or to our Tuesday show, and he wants to divine for people. So people come in, they ask yes or no questions, and he uses his I don't know if he has a rod or a pendulum. I responded that I'm taking the week off, so there will be no afternoon talk with me on the 2nd. If you wanted to do it, or if you wanted to bring a guest on or whatever, that would be fine, but I'm not going to be there next Tuesday. But that I loved the idea, and I thought we should really build on it and work on it. I haven't heard back from him yet, but I thought that would be a really good idea. All right, Miss Pixie, I knew you were going to get this card. I should have said it. The Eagle, because of course you would get it, especially right now. See from a higher perspective. Currently working on 2 books, one for the Wendigo, one for the Yi Nalushi. Once those are ready to go, I'll let y'all know. Yes, please do. I would love to promote them. I would love, to get copies. I would absolutely love it. So please, please, please let me know. It's very, for me anyway, as someone who's like, books were my only friends when I was little. It's thrilling to write a new book, So Miss Pixie, you got the Eagle. I just have to find, these are in like a weird order. So there we go. Lara, look at things from a different angle, fly higher and see new possibilities. In animal medicine, both Native American and Celtic, the eagle draws his power and strength from the sun. He is a powerful, strong, and courageous guide who is able to see for miles. He approaches all things with intelligence, grace, and poise, and has the capacity to make a plan from a higher space before putting it into action. When the eagle card appears in a reading, it shows that you have a real ability to take things higher and to move beyond the limitations of your ego and your selfish desires. Eagle medicine swirls around you now, encouraging you to recognize that your views or vision may be limited right now. Is there a chance that your own desperation, needs, or ego? Now remember, ego does not mean thinking you're better than everybody all the time. A lot of the time, ego means your fear. Okay, are you acting, reacting, or not doing those things because of fear? And I do feel like that's what's being talked about here. Is there a chance that your own desperation, needs, or ego could be blocking you from seeing the potential in your current situation? If there are other people involved, you are being guided to see things from everyone's perspective. If you are feeling the need for something to change, how can you take the high road? Know that if you have intentions that aren't for the highest good, it'll only hold you back. Eagle medicine can help you change this. The eagle brings the energy of healing and love directly from the heart of Father Sky and invites you to do all things from a place of love. Now, I feel like you are a person who, even as a human being, does everything that you can from a place of love. And that's why I was so angry, like righteously angry about what was done to you last night. And I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but I need to, because I need people to understand that if you ever want to see Gemma smash, that is how to do it. Okay. I feel like, and we've talked about this before in your readings on this channel, so I'm not going to shy away from saying it. I feel like you are your own worst enemy as far as your progression spiritually and the healing and teaching of others. You were put here to teach others, to guide others, to lead others. At least that's one of your missions. I know it for a fact. I'm certain of it, or I would not have given you a platform on my channel. Okay? Your fear of exactly what happened last night, of the things you were told your whole life, even the things you've overcome, they can all come flooding back when you're in a spotlight like this. Do I have the biggest channel? No, but that's still a lot of eyes on you, a lot of ears listening. And it is a big responsibility, right? That we should always take very seriously. However, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't 1,000,000% believe in the things you're saying, the things you're standing behind, or where you're going with it all, who's really going to? Because at the end of the day, the choices you make, Lara, are yours. I can give you all the advice I want. Spirit can give you all the advice it wants. Stephen can tell you whatever he wants. At the end of the day, you are going to be the one that has to make that decision for you. So are you going to base it on fear, forget everything and run, or fear, face everything and rise? Those were the two options I was given in a rehab one time. Wasn't the last one I ever went to, but that always stuck with me. Okay, so which part of fear are we going to go from? I feel like, yeah, you may feel like the wind was taken out of you, and I get that. I do. I hope you never get to a point like I have where bullying just rolls off your back because you're so used to people picking you apart on a daily basis. But even with that, are you really going to let people like that dictate whether or not you rise, whether or not you're in the light, whether or not you lead others and guide others and help others with love and grace, compassion and kindness, all of the things that bullies never showed us, never showed you? No, because then you'd be a jaded person, and that's not who you are. This card is urging you to not brush it off like it didn't happen. I'm not saying that. But please think long and hard before you let something like what happened last night, and whatever you're telling yourself when you're having those bad days and feel like, imposter syndrome is very popular. I know with me, it pops up all the time, this imposter syndrome, because I don't really feel like I have the support daily that I need in my real life to continue on my journey. But are we going to give in to that? You could. And you could throw in the towel and just say, guys, I'm sorry, gemstones, or I'm sorry, friends, but now is not the right time for me. Or you can be like, sorry you feel that way. And tell yourself, tell that shadow in yourself, Lara, sorry you feel that way. You were put here to bring others to a higher purpose, and that is a big charge. Okay, that's a huge charge. But if not you, then who? Right? Somebody's going to have to do it. So it may as well be you. Take all the time you need. See things from a higher perspective. This person's mentally ill. They're definitely sick. People like that are always going to be around. They're always going to be affecting us. But we are the ones who let them affect us in certain ways. I'm not saying you're wrong for being highly affected by it. So please don't think that. But what I'm saying is, how much and for how long are you going to let it affect you? Don't let it take you out. And that's what this is saying. See it for what it is. Sickness, mental illness, a diseased human, who has no concept of spirituality except for the fantasies they make up in their head. There are always going to be people like this. And sometimes it's going to be the people closest to you who you look to for validation, who you want to share your success with. And that is the most heartbreaking thing in the world, I can tell you from experience. But it cannot stop you because you are on a sacred spiritual mission. Just something to think about. Thank you, Miss Heather. Yeah, it always stuck with me. That's one. All the cliched sayings, one day at a time. I hated them. But there was this one. It was in my room at this rehab, and I never forgot it. Subpar human, for sure. Because they haven't elevated yet. And when you're a grown adult and you're not even trying to elevate, what are you doing? What are you here for? Eris, absolutely. And I know, you guys, I should have said that a long time ago, but I never thought to because it's so rare that it happens.
And I could have blocked them and banned them right off rip. But my curiosity was getting the best of me because I wanted to know where it was going. I thought
maybe I thought there was a point that was going to be made. The harassing comment of the name calling came later, as far as what I understand. So at first, Ghost Dragons and I were discussing it, and I was like, well, maybe they're just on one of their tangents, because I can show you emails, I can show you comments. They go off on tangents.
Yes, they do.
It stops at the abuse. Like, that is, I'm never going to accept that. Miss Vera, okay, next time let us know if you can't stay and you'd like a reading, okay? If we have time at the end, I will timestamp you if you'd like, and we'll put it in the comments, because as of right now, I only have one. Who's next?
Okay, next is Blue and Hilton. I always screw up your last name, so I'm just going to say Hilton. You're next after Blue, okay? So stick around.
Blue, I'm using Dell and Wait. Hilton, that's exactly it. There have been times when I've been like, oh my God, like when Dave Schrader first agreed to interview me, I was in hog heaven. Like I didn't know which way was up. I was so excited. And I got the response from, well, I got a couple of negative responses, but the main one was just someone being like crickets. Like I'm not dancing around the house so excited that like this guy that I admire so much is actually going to talk to me and like that he befriended me. It was painful, but I was like, on the other hand, I have an interview with Dave Schrader. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we have to at the end of the day, really try to decide how much we're going to let it affect us. Initially, it's going to affect us how it affects us, but then it's up to us to decide what we're going to do with that energy. Larry, you showed amazing, again, I don't want to harp on it, but you showed amazing, incredible grace and just, you're a better person than me. I was coming in. I had literally sat down at my computer and turned it on right when you said goodnight. I was coming in and I was going to pull you off the screen and go off. Had you been 1 minute longer. I'm kind of glad you didn't because I was not as composed as I was tonight about this situation.
As I just wanted to come to the screen and hug you, Laura. I felt so bad. So,
Blue Crossroads, you got the wolf. Card number 22. I am the wild wolf standing before a full moon. I often appear in fairy tales, though my appearance is feared most of the time. They say I'm cruel, hungry, and merciless. They say I eat little pigs, little boys, little girls, and grandmothers as well. They say I hide in the forest with my gleaming fangs and voracious appetite. But this is all a legend. I'm actually nobler, sweeter, and more inspiring than what is said everywhere. I'm here to tell you that your inner wilderness needs to be heard and it needs to be unleashed. Stop being reasonable, stop being tidy, and stop being careful. Go through the forest, bay at the moon, dig your claws into the ground, and show your fangs. Run, growl, bark. The time has come to be wild, Blue Crossroads. Your soul belongs to the night and to the moon. The wolf within you wants to be released and act freely. So listen to this call and unchain your inner wolf. I do feel like you're coming into, and you've been for about a year now, of this energy of like, that's so different than anything you've ever experienced. You're looking into new things. You want to try new things. You're becoming this whole different person because you're spiritually evolving, which I'm sure is a whole new world for you as someone who, you know, had a job where you were required to be rational, to be tactical, to, you know, like, I'm sure there was a point that came where it was at odds, right? This is the universe saying you don't have to go crazy. You don't even have to let anyone know, but like you need to cut loose. You need to loosen the bindings on yourself, right? You still need to be responsible every day. Yes, you still need to earn a living. You still need to, you know, you still need to do all these things, but what are you doing for fun? What are you doing just for you that you can say is fun and not ever a hassle or a headache? It's just something you like to do because Blue Crossroads likes to do it. If you have something and you are doing it, great. But I don't think you are, because otherwise this card wouldn't have come up. You have got to just take a time out, take a break, take a rest. Not so much the way you've been, because I know you have kind of been a little bit figuring things out. This is something different. This is you. It's not like you're withdrawing. It's like you're putting yourself more into something, throwing yourself more in, diving deeper, going to the deeper end of the pool about or in something. Your rational mind is going to tell you, this is crazy. Don't do this. Stop. That's not your rational mind anymore. Now we call that ego. We call that the fear, right? Blue Crossroads, whatever this is, and it could be an opportunity coming in the next week or two, I say take it, let loose, have some fun, stop worrying about how you're going to look, sound, feel, how you're presenting yourself, who's going to think what, whose this opinion is, what. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter which decisions you make, even if you make the wrong ones, the right people will be by you and in your energy no matter what. You cannot get rid of your soul family unless you're supposed to get rid of your soul family. So the people that were meant to be will always be, no matter what. Nicole, what's up, girl?
Okay, next is Hilton.
Yeah, Jules, it was pretty bad. I explained a lot of it like right in the beginning, which is why I started a little earlier and read some of the disgusting comments from that sick human being. Hilton, I'm going to use Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Whittlewood's a lip twister for our dragon because of his Tourette's, I think. That's why he calls Lara Laura.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, Nicole, if you want, just like the first couple minutes of the show, I explained it. I promised we weren't going to keep talking about it because I don't want to give the bully, the sick person, the attention. But yeah, somebody was very bullying, very rude, very disgraceful last night in Lara's chat, and I just needed to let them know publicly that no, not on my watch. Thanks. I'm from New Jersey, not Atlantis this incarnation, okay? There's only so much I can take. You want to bully me? I'm used to it, but you do not touch my friends or my family. I am a pit bull.
Real quick, Mark. Yeah, Ashley's with the family. They're, doing their thing for Easter. Mandy, I'm not sure.
Aerith, in this chat, I wouldn't say they were a regular, but they're in here a lot. Guardian Jackpot. I mean, I'm calling them as they are. That's who it was. I want everyone to know that how sick and twisted they were, how horrible they were.
They leave really interesting comments in her shorts and on here, and you don't get where they're coming from a lot of times. It's kind of...
Well, we're used to that, right? Like we're the people. We accept weird, but there's a difference. Heather B is facts. We're from New Jersey. Like it's not a joke. I want to be sweet and I want to help everybody and I want to be kind always, but you'll get me to a point where the Jersey will come out. I mean, I can't help it. It was a piece of sand pretending to be a gemstone. Jules, I love it. I love it. All right. Oh, wow. I don't know that I've ever pulled this card from this deck, and I've always wanted to. That's crazy. I've had this deck for about a year now because I just saw it come up in my memories. And I waited like a year for the deck to actually come out, right? I had it on pre-order. So you got card number 28, Hilton. It is a dangerous card, and it is the card of my beloved vampires. The card of hunger. Hilton, beware of those draining your energy. You are special. Seek equal relationships. Think before making a serious relationship decision. You should not let your desires get out of balance. Addictions must be acknowledged and healed. Know what gives you energy and what takes energy away. Sorry. I ate a full meal before stream, so I just burped. Sorry. They are sometimes sexy, seductive, full of desire, and terrifying at the same time. The timeless attraction of blood-consuming vampires is a paradox, and it is one that crosses cultures and timelines. Although the beautiful and somewhat desirable vampire form didn't really begin to enter the public consciousness until the mid-1800s, the idea of a human feeding upon the very stuff of life is much older. The Greeks, Egyptians, Sumerians, Indians, and Balkan peoples all have myths containing vampire-type creatures. While there are almost uncountable examples of vampires in literature, movies, and games, somehow the archetype of the blood-hunting, night-stalking, hey, Smoochy girl, and somewhat elegant creature keeps being reinvented to seduce yet another generation. What is it that this horrifying form can still seduce us so much? Perhaps it has something to do with a strong yearning to be adored and desired. Having someone want us that much, who has the desire to be that closely linked with us, even down to our blood, can feel good, until, of course, we realize there's nothing much left of ourselves to give them. Most of us have heard of the concept of emotional vampirism, the idea that people feed off of our energy and our virtue. It is important for us to guard against such incursions and avoid being unnecessarily manipulated or hurt, understanding that we need to develop our power from the inside out, and doing so is a great start in protecting ourselves from such people. Ensuring we establish healthy boundaries with others is another. We should be crystal clear about what supplies us with energy and what depletes it. We should do more of the energy supplying acts and understand that we cannot do too much of the depletive stuff. We are all more susceptible to vampires of all kinds if we are tired, worn down, and uninspired. Your plant companion is gardenia, and your crystal companion is aventurine. So what this card is saying is beware of emotional vampirism, beware of human straws, beware of, remember, a devil in disguise is still a devil. The lesser of two evils is still evil, right? The devil, still a devil. I feel like you're starting to understand either why a relationship ended. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be why a relationship ended or why one's about to end. You're finally starting to see the truth of who this person is, who these people were, like whatever the case is for you specifically, Hilton, where it's like you put so much of this ending on yourself. And I feel like it's affected you. We'll talk about it like it's already happened, but it could be going on now. These realizations you're coming to. And I feel like you're finally starting to understand that it's equal give and take, right? That maybe it wasn't as much your fault as you thought it was. This is a great lesson to learn because this is the way we move forward, and we don't ignore the red flags. We don't get stuck in the same types of situations. As for right now, be very careful about a manipulative egomaniac is the only way I can explain how I'm seeing this person in your life who is trying to make you feel less than so that they can be put on a higher pedestal with you. Again, romantic or otherwise. Also, I don't know if you personally have any addictions, compulsions, hurts, hangups, or habits that, like drug abuse, alcohol abuse, overeating, all those things I'm not allowed to mention on YouTube. Or if someone in your life is either hiding them from you or thinks they're hiding them from you, now would be the time to confront them. Whatever way you see fit. If you've just had enough, confrontation is okay as long as you're not cruel or, significantly unkind. Or you can just let the person know that, the jig is up and they can just stop pretending that they needed money to pay their rent because you know what they really spent it on. They can stop trying to make you feel guilty about not giving them money for groceries because you know what they really needed the money for. Something like that is coming out here. It's like you are finally no longer willing to pretend like the wool is being pulled over your eyes. If this doesn't make sense to you, it will in the next couple of weeks. Protect yourself any way you can. And if the only way to protect yourself is to ghost this person or confront them outright, then please do so. Stop allowing this person to feed off of you, to drain you of your finances, your whatever they're taking from you, your energy, your mental health, your spirituality, because they are absolutely going to take it all. They will not stop. So the more you play this game of, pretending to believe their lies, the more they're going to lie and see what they can get away with. You need to put a stop to this now before you end up in complete and total chaos and turmoil in the very near future. Val SWPA, if you're here, please let us know.
Well, if they don't, we're going to go ahead while we wait to see if they answer. Oh, excuse me. Edna, go ahead and do Dear Edna.
All right. And I'm so glad to hear it. Edna said I almost got into a funk with this illness. Sure did. Smacked myself out of it and feeling much more positive.
Fight it.
And that actually makes sense. Our darling Deb is also a Leo sun, a Pisces moon, which is, I don't know how I didn't see that beforehand with you, Deb. Not a bad thing, just good. Hilton, I'm glad. So it makes sense that you'd be feeling a little bit better because, again, like the learning from the past lessons, the refusal to over reminisce, and all of that is eclipse energy. So I'm glad that it's hitting you right off the bat. You don't really have to force your way into stepping into it or anything like that. So, and I'm going to use the angels and ancestors on you too, because I know that is your favorite deck. Cancer moon. So yes, same thing. Fire, sun, water, moon. Miss Jules, you are right. The eclipse is making it difficult for the evil and negative beings to hide the ugly behind masks. I can clearly see with twisted, mangled souls inside them. You are also born on the cusp of the revolution, so you're mostly Scorpio, but you do have some. I never can remember what comes next. Sagittarius in there. It really does depend on your chart, guys, how this energy is going to affect you. But for the most part, like I said, till the second week of May, we're kind of screwed. And it really depends on your moon sign, in my professional opinion, more so than any other sign. You were born on the cusp too. Jules, I know for sure because you have the same birthday as my daughter, my Eliana. So she was born, I know, on the cusp of the revolution. Not sure what that means. I'm a full Pisces, March 1st, as you guys know. But, you know, I can't wait for my little guy to get a little bit older because he he's a triple Cancer, and it's interesting for me to watch him. Are you okay? Oh, okay. I didn't realize what you were doing. I thought you were crying at first. I was like, what is this? And I'm going to pull your card, but I do have to hop up and use the restroom and crack a window because it's getting very hot in here. So if you could just give me a minute. Heather, that's okay. You know, take as much time as you need with it, as long as you have it so you know the things that you can look up. If you're specifically looking for like information about love, the shorts that I do where I say be sure to check your sun, moon, and rising, if you're looking to try to get information about love, if it's a love question, you can go into those shorts and see where your Venus is. So like my Venus is in Aries. So I would go and watch Aries, right? I don't include Venus because I just don't think to, but if you have a love question, you can go into those shorts and you can watch Aries. Hilton, yes. And you know what? That is a great thing that you discovered that, because that is a great way to manipulation. And I will be right back. Guys, just give me a minute.
She's running away. Okay, so Mark, you'll be next. Then after Mark will be Darling Deb. Then Heather B, okay? Yeah, I figured you were here, Mark. Thank you, sir, so much. Forgive me, my nose started running. I started sneezing and I started crying and everything. She must have fell out the window. Hope a bear doesn't get her. Oh, excuse me again. I'm sorry. My nose just all of a sudden started going to town. But yes, thank you again, Mark. So our next people will be Mark, Darling Deb, Heather B, and Jules. I'll go ahead and give you the 4 next folks. Boy, dilly-dally here. Then Netslab, Eris, Nick, if you're still around, and Ralph, if you're still around. So you guys got a little bit. I hope everybody's having a good evening. Have a good weekend, a good Easter. Well, I plan on streaming tomorrow night. We'll see how things go. I'll probably be here, like doing Gemma's replays. And we'll see how it goes afterwards on how many people show up. So
I keep thinking today's Saturday because my little guy had off school.
yeah,
Okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Oh, 1 second. Paradox, do you want a card? Because you were actually called. I know you're here, Ralph. So let us know if you want a card, Paradox, because we can get you in after Mark. So, okay, I'll shut up now.
Hilton, you know what? The fact that you're aware of that, that's the first step. So that's really good. A lot of people, I'm glad that when they come into the stream, that's one of the first things that they realize is that there is emotional and spiritual vampirism that happens. That's the first step. Okay, so Anna, before I left, I drew the direction guardian, choose your path. And this, before I even read anything, I would say that you did. You chose to as hard as I'm sure it was. And I'm not saying you choose to be physically ill or you don't, but how you're handling it, you have decided to shift direction. You've decided, you know what? This is not me, not working for me. And I love it. And I'm so proud of and happy for you. I admire you. I've always admired you so much. I admire all of you. You all go through so much on a daily basis. And to keep coming here week after week and to keep getting up and being positive and working on your spirituality. Like, most people will be like, I don't have time. But if you don't make time for your wellness, you will have to deal with your illness. I mean, that is it, right? That's it. You know? All right. And a direction guardian. This isn't one I pull often either, so I'm interested. Connect with your deepest desires, then choose the path that will make your heart and your soul sing. The Direction Guardian card represents the angels of direction. These amazing angels are the ones who come to us when we are at a crossroads and don't know which way to go. When we are unsure of what is right for us or of the bigger picture, they can help us know what's best for all involved. The Direction Guardian card refers to the vision of the Hebrew prophet Ezekiel, who is said to have seen an angel with 4 different faces. One was a child or a cherub, one was a bull, one was a lion, and one was an eagle. These 4 faces show that angels can appear in many guises and guide us in many different directions, but always for our highest good. Miss Pixie, what she said. Your path isn't set in stone, and your angels and guides have no expectations for you, nor should you have any for yourself. Now, let me just explain this. I say it all the time. Yes, we have a chart, and yeah, that is our path. But free will can change that at any given moment. Do we all eventually come back to it? Yeah, if we're lucky. Okay, if we're lucky enough to learn the lessons we put ourselves here to learn. But not everyone gets those chances to make those choices. So while it is set in stone, it's not set in stone that you have to follow any of it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way I was given to explain it. So nor should you have any for yourself, meaning expectations. There are many directions you can take. None of them are wrong, as they all hold perfect opportunities to grow and to learn, but life is to be enjoyed and savored. So if you know that there's a decision to be made, Aunt Edna, and particularly if you're feeling indecisive, choose the path you know is going to make you light up, and choose it with your heart. So I always say, don't make decisions based upon your heart center, because your heart is the biggest deceiver. But we're not talking about a love decision here, right? We're talking a decision, just I think in general, of like, what? Okay, so what next? So this is the new reality. Where do we go with it? You know, and I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. You know, you made the decision to pull yourself up, and I'm sure that was really, really hard. I know that was hard, but now where do you want to go with it? What's next for you this year? And I feel like this is the universe trying to tell you, like, set some small goals, achieve those goals, feel the feeling of achieving those goals, and then move forward with even more goals. You have a lot to, it's not obtain. You have a lot to accomplish that you haven't yet. Not meaning you're unsuccessful in life, just meaning there is so much more to your journey than I think even you realize right now. And it is time to clean house, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychically. It is time to, you know, out with the old and in with the new. And I mean that in the best possible sense. So this is the reinvigoration of your energy, the reinvigoration of your life, coming in during a retrograde. Okay, first of all, that's insane. Helping someone, that's where you thrive. So there you go. Thinking about how you want to go about doing that. And instead of having it be a thought, what are the actionable steps you can take to get there? I feel like this is just telling you you're going in the right direction. Great job. This is your pat on the back from your team. And I know it's like, well, we don't need that. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we really need to know that we are on the right path, that we're doing the right thing, that we're going in the right direction, because we can be so blinded to our own path. I also, oh, wait a minute, I lost it. I'm sorry, give me a second. Okay, so I also feel like throughout what just happened with you with the illness and, you know, the physical stuff that was going on, not to mention the mental, the emotional, everything, spiritual, psychic, everything I've been saying. It's like you've kind of learned too who's with you and who is kind of with you. What you might want to start thinking about doing, maybe, is getting people on your team and in your orbit that are always right there with you. Not, you know, what is it called? It has to do with water. Lukewarm when you're not doing the best. Because I don't feel like you're the type of person who's ever lukewarm for anybody. Because we shouldn't be. We should be in or out. I mean, it's not that black and white sometimes, but when it comes down to energy, it really is. Either we're matching or we're not. And what are we doing? Trying to sync our energy. That doesn't really work, okay? This is your pat on the back. You're doing amazing. And I didn't want to say helping others, but it did pop into my mind. But I don't ever say that because I don't like pushing people, like unless I know that's something they're interested in doing, because it could make people feel guilty if that's not something that they're willing to do. If you're willing to do that, please do it in every possible way that you can, because that is where you're going to shine. And that is what's going to keep you from being fed on by the energetic vampires, the lower vibrational people that we all have in our lives. We can't help it. We cannot constantly be surrounded by high vibration right now in 2024 in the world. We just can't. But we can do our best to protect ourselves from that lower vibrational energy, the fair weather friends. Who's next?
Mark.
Paradox and Heather.
No, darling Deb. Then
Okay, I didn't hear you because I was walking to the bathroom. So
yes.
Okay, Mark, I'm going to use the fairy forest. Sir Paradox. Too many Australians in Australia. I recently started, I hope this doesn't offend anyone. It's just something I enjoy. He makes me laugh for no other reason than he's funny. Is Isaac Butterfield. And he was watching Australians get mad about Australia Day. And he was pretty funny. You're welcome, Anna. Thank you. Thank all of you guys for showing up every week. You guys make it all worth it, all worthwhile, and you make it all possible, because if you guys didn't take the time to come in, I would be sitting here, honestly. So I really do keep that in the back of my head. If you guys didn't purchase my books and support me in that way, you know what I mean? I'm so cognizant of it at all times. So please, like, you guys are the reason my dreams are coming true. At least,
I pay you guys, okay?
At least a lot of the reason. Hey, whatever the reason, I'm good with it. Y'all are here picking up my algorithm. I'm good. And it's nice to spend time with genuine people who believe in what I'm saying and who believe in me. I don't always have that, or I don't always feel that way. Whether I have it or not is a different story, but I don't always feel it. All right, you got the Yule Singer. This card comes up a lot, Mark. Rebirth. Again, we're talking about rebirth, which makes perfect sense. Right after the retrograde, this energy will be coming in, and then we got the eclipses. So the Yule Singer, card number 36. Feasting, joy. There are times in life when our light dims so that it seems it may go out for all eternity. But when this time comes, you are being put to a great test. If you persevere at this time, you will experience a depth of life experience that will lead you to being reshaped, transformed, and in many ways, very much changed. You are undergoing such an experience at present, and this card is here to share with you that at such a time of great darkness and suffering, a new light will shine and bring you back to life, a kind of reincarnation within the same life you are now experiencing. When this takes place, the Yule Singer will come to you and sing to you the song of your deepest self. You will open up with this song and begin to live again. Mark, the pain will dissolve slowly, and surely you will enter into a time of joy and light while the flame of your spirit rises high once again within your soul. Expect new friendships and connections, fortunate moments, and growth when this beautiful card comes to you. The dark times are done with for right now. You are stronger, brighter, and beginning once again to a bright new cycle. Sing your song. Mark, any question you may have had of like what to do in a particular situation or with a particular opportunity, this is your answer here, right? So this is your answer of you're in such a great place that you basically can do no wrong spiritually right now. Okay, so any opportunities that come in, jump on them. This is glow up, bless up energy that not a lot of us are experiencing right now because of the astrological stuff going on, the stuff with the astrology. This is really great news. You don't have to second guess your choices. You don't have to ask yourself, is this the right time for this opportunity? Because guess what? In the next 6 weeks, any opportunities that come in are not going to come in again. And there'll never be a right time. Right now is always the right time. Because if you're waiting for something, once that gets there, your ego will tell you, oh, we also need this. We need to wait for that. And then by the end of like, what'd you do with your life, right? I feel like this is you coming into a whole new realm of being, like status. Like when I started YouTube, I feel like it's something like that. Like you're becoming this whole new spiritually enlightened and more aligned, elevated creature. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean you're becoming this new spirit, more spiritual being. And the universe is calling you to work with that energy in the next 6 weeks, particularly. So if you have an opportunity to do something, to have your voice be heard, to help somebody, to teach, to learn more, keep going. If you're second guessing choices you made recently, don't. They're bringing the right opportunities, the right energy, and the right people in. This is a time, like I said, this is very fortunate because most of us are not going to get this until at least the second week of May. This is going to be your energy throughout the next few weeks. But if you start, doubling back and second guessing and being like, wavering, teeter-tottering, the universe is going to be like, okay, he's not ready, hasn't learned the lessons. And you're going to have to, the opposite of elevate. And you're going to have to relearn things again. And you're doing so well. You're growing. You're changing. And the people around you are probably not going to understand some of the changes that you're making. A lot of people in my life will say like, yeah, being kind, but then you let people disrespect you. You let people walk all over you. No, I don't. I've just learned to only care about the people who don't. So if someone I couldn't possibly care less about because I know they're an a-hole or a b-word says something to me, does it sting? Yeah. But 20 years ago, I would have punched them in the throat and probably worse. Whereas now I'm just like, sorry you feel that way. That's regular human growth. But when we're spiritually elevating, we also learn grace, which is, wow, what they just said has nothing to do with me. They are obviously severely diseased, mentally ill, struggling somehow. I'm not going to put myself out to help them, but I'll pray that they get the help or, send them some positive vibes. And that's the difference in spiritual growth and just growing, like aging up. Okay. Good. Do not second guess. Go with gusto towards your goal. Nice, Blue Cross Road. Paradox fossils.
I'll be right back. I am having a little technical difficulties.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to use the Vampire Oracle for you. Eris, I got you. Oh my gosh, that's got to be refreshing, Hilton. It drives me nuts. I sometimes, because I'm not trying to be offensive. People can look at my channel and my behavior, it's just, but sometimes things come out. I do have personal opinions that I try not to bring to the table here because I don't want to alienate someone over something stupid. In my opinion, it's stupid, like politics. I feel like you can believe whatever you want. I'll believe what I want, and we can still be friends. But I guess that's it's hard for a lot of people to accept that, if you're not like me, then we can't be friends. And also I do have some pretty harsh opinions about some things. That's why I don't get political here. But in my personal life, sure, I have my own ideas and my own opinions and I express them. Good, Mark, that is what I want to hear. As you should be. You've come a long way just from when I met you, spiritually speaking. I'm so glad. And I am proud of you. I've said it 100 times and I'll continue to say it. And I always tell you guys that I'm proud of the progress y'all are making. Right? I know. Well, Smoochie, you get a little crazy sometimes about your ideas, but I just look at it as Smoochie's very passionate. And honestly, you're under no obligation to anyone to stifle your opinion. I feel obligated in this capacity as Gemma Jade on this channel not to push my political and religious opinions on people. And I take that responsibility really seriously, but you're not, you know what I mean? You're not obligated to anyone to silence yourself. And I don't feel like I'm silencing myself. As I'm talking about this. Okay, so person, I definitely cannot advise you on that. I'm not a medical doctor. I can give you a 1-card general reading is what I can do here. If that's what you'd really like, but I am not going to tell you one way or another whether or not you should do that. So, but I can give you a general reading if that's what you'd like, but I'm definitely not going to talk about that. Just because it doesn't, it would be too much for YouTube. I wouldn't be allowed. But if you'd like a general reading about whether or not to do something really important, I would say, personally, I mean, just my opinion, if you're not sure, probably don't do it. But I would love to give you a personal reading, okay? So just wait a couple of turns because we do have people in line and we'll pop you in and I'll give you the general, okay? All right, paradox, burnt by the sun, ambition, extension, and reach. As I was saying, I feel like I'm in a position where I should not be getting political or giving my own personal opinions on this channel. So person would like a reading. That's not a troll. That is an actual person wanting a general reading, okay? As far as I can see. You're welcome. Netter! Paradox fossils. Let's see what we got. Card number 28. There are times when you have set yourself a great task, when you have decided that you have within sights of glorious outcome. It could be an ambition or a relationship, a position, or an achievement. But the meaning of this card is a warning, a caution to you. There is much that can come to you simply and with ease, but there are things in this world which we both share that must be earned. You must earn this next step, for it is as it is for us. Our nature is to live in the night, to be under the gentle, brilliant light of the stars, of candles, of the last moments of sunset, or the first moments at sunrise. To be in the full glare of the light is not for us, and at this time not for all the time, the fullest of your ambition will not be available to you. It must be earned, it must be deserved, and there is a path to walk and a road to take before you can get there. Paradox, you may of course decide that we do not know of what we speak or of you and your desire, and you may decide to reach as high as you can. And so we say to you, when this sun you reach for burns you with its fire, for it is a star and made of fire, you will learn then what it is to be too eager and do things too soon. Have a good one, Hilton. Have a great weekend. There is a time and a place and a way in which we earn what will be ours. The desire is worthy of you. You are worthy of reaching it, but for now, the dream which you reach for, you are not yet ready for. There's more work for you to do first, so be wise. Blessing, you will never know your potential unless you go beyond the limits you have set for yourself. You may not succeed, but you will know a great deal more about yourself than you do now, and you are certain to grow through the experience. Begin with baby steps and persist. Curse. Turning away from potential failure means you also turn away from potential success and growth. You avoid harm, but at a great cost, or overreaching without gaining experience. Paradox, you must be mindful of what is safe and wise for you at this time with the skills and training you have. You have a way to go before your changes are made. It's as if you are wishing to undertake a marathon without ever having run a mile. It's time to train, learn, and become strong. In time, the desire will be within reach. Patience and hard work both are priorities for now. Otherwise, there could be self-administered hurt and injury. Yeah. Netter the Disney. Thank you, Debbie. Deb girl. I always call her Deb girl. Paradox, you there is something I feel like you want to achieve here that you want to either stop doing or start doing, or but it's like no matter what you do, you can't get to this space, right? So I'm just going to say, for example, you want to own your own business and you have the money, you have the know-how, you have the place in mind of where you want to rent the business from, but you don't have any investors and you need like investor. Like it seems to be always something standing in the way of you and whatever this goal is. Again, whether it's stopping something, starting something, whatever the case may be. The universe is telling you right now, your guides are telling you, look, Now is just not the time because you have not seen the lessons. You may have seen them. Did you learn them? Are you putting them into action? Are you acting as if you understand where you went wrong the last time maybe you tried to do this or tried to stop doing this or in a similar situation? I feel like this is a repeat lesson that you probably have learned by now, but maybe you don't know how to put it into action, or maybe you just don't feel like putting it into action. Maybe you don't want to stop going out dancing on Friday nights. Like, I don't know what you do. I don't want to, but you should, because it's somehow affecting your life. I don't know how. I don't know what I'm talking about. That was a stupid analogy. But the point in that analogy is, the cost of continuing to do whatever this is, or of not doing whatever this is. And if you choose to continue, that's fine. But the universe is going to see that you haven't quite learned the lessons enough to put them into practice, and you're going to have to relearn them. If you can walk in stride with having learned these lessons, if you can show the universe you understand where you went wrong time after time after time, and this time get it right, you will be rewarded with whatever it is your end goal is. You will be rewarded with the opportunity to take the next step. I know you love that dancing at the discotheque on Fridays, whatever the kids are doing these days. I don't know. Person, are you still here? You know how it is, rocking and rolling and whatnot. Okay, I'm going to use the Wonderland Oracle for you, okay? Little Bow Wow. Only thing that keeps me up when I'm going down. I don't know about you, but I got to keep mine around. I love that song. My favorite song by Bow Wow, though, is Out of My System. You're welcome, Sir Paradox. Thank you. All right, person, let's see what we got here. You can't go back to yesterday. Be in the present. Card number 44, in the upright position. Now, what I do is I'll tell you what the book says, but then I'll pull in your team and I'll give you the extended version. So don't just, the book is kind of your reading. What I say to you afterwards will be your full reading, okay? Card number 44, you can't go back to yesterday. And the Griffin added, "Come, let's hear some of your adventures. I could tell you my adventures beginning from this morning," said Alice a little timidly, "but it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then." In this lovely moment, Alice is being asked to recount her adventures for the Griffin, who longs to hear them and is genuinely interested. Alice would love to share too, but she knows if she talks a great deal about what has happened and where she's from, she'll never truly be able to move forward and find out who she is now that she has changed and is within the world of Wonderland. The Griffin wants her to share so he can be entertained and perhaps get to know her a little bit better. But for Alice, the thought of reliving the past is not good, as it will not help him know her, as she's changed too much for that. And therefore, her history is not a way to their true friendship. Perhaps it's the same for you. Focus on creating new memories, on sharing experiences, on getting to know someone and letting them know you in the present through observation and conversation, except that you've changed. As we change, the simple telling of who we were and what we did is sometimes not as powerful as sharing who we are becoming and experiencing new adventures right in the heart of the precious present moment. Yes, we can share our past adventures and histories, but perhaps you were quite a different person then. So consider adventuring forth and fully experiencing the present with people you have connected with. Your past will spill out of you when the time is right for the sharing of such things. In the reverse. No, that's why I said just wait for me to give you the reading before you try to interpret what it said. I got you. Don't worry. Living in the past, speaking of past events, musing over what once was, nostalgia, believing you are the same as you once were, living through stories rather than experiences, memory overrides the present, no anticipation of the future. So here's what your team is saying. I do not give advice on this channel unless I'm saying I'm giving advice. So I'm not making a statement on anything you're asking. So I don't want to feel like I'm being baited to say the right or wrong thing, right? Because I have no opinion one way or the other on what you're asking as far as Gemma Jade is concerned on this channel. What this card is saying for you specifically. All right, I'm going to block you if you don't let me speak, because I feel like you came in here trying to bait me into giving you some kind of, like, whatever I was going to say, you were going to try to make it a trans issue. And I don't talk about trans issues on my channel. Politically speaking, I lean way over the other way. So I'm going to say goodbye to you, and you'll never know what your team had to say. Who's next?
Darling Deb.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing
no,
it.
You got to be careful. I was biting my
I
lips.
didn't even get a word out before they started. I knew it. As soon as they brought that up, I was like,
and I know you try to be fair.
I'm being baited here.
Yeah,
and I just got done saying I don't talk about politics on this channel. Miss Deb girl, let's use the Wonderland Oracle for you.
And it's a big possibility it might have been somebody else too.
If I had said yes, that they should have, I think they would have started with me for being for that kind of surgery. If I had said no, they would have called me a phobic. I saw that coming a mile away. Yeah, I saw it too. And but again, I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But the fact that their name was Person kind of makes me, like one time, Bob Troller came in, and I just I knew I should have immediately blocked him, but I'm like, maybe, but of course he was a troller, and I had to give it to him because, he at least was who he was. Yeah. And go with your gut. I try to give, again, I just try to give the benefit of the doubt to everybody. And that's what happened last night. I think, yeah. Anyway, Miss Deb, let's see. Let's use the Wonderland Oracle for you. Yeah, Blue, personally, yeah, I don't like making statements like that as Gemma. If you ask me personally in my life, I'll give you an opinion. But on here, I just feel like I have a responsibility to accept everyone and do my job. I don't want anyone to feel left out or othered in my stream. But, don't bait me either. I'm an intuitive knower. What are you really trying to pull over my face here? Okay, so Deb, you got nature communication. The answer their team was going to give them actually was wait it out and make sure any kind of big decisions you're making, like we're not doing that during retrograde and eclipse energy. That was the message that they were going to receive. It wasn't a yes or a no. I can't in good conscience even give a real answer if I got one, because I would be blamed if something went and happened.
Can I say something before you start? Be careful what you say in chat, because they can bring it up to YouTube and demonetize the channel. So be careful what you comment in chat about the whole situation.
Yeah, let's just move on. YouTube's kind of like that, especially leaning like the other way. Like if my channel was a political channel, I'd have more leeway. But because it's not, they really watch for stuff like that. So let's just move on. All right, Deb, you got nature communication. Oh, Tiger Lily, said Alice, addressing herself to one that was giving gracefully about in the wind. I wish you could talk. We can talk, said the Tiger Lily, when there's anybody worth talking to. With this card, Alice thinks that because the flowers are, well, flowers, that they can't speak, reason, or communicate. They're not like her, and therefore she thinks they can't ever understand or connect with her. Alice assumes the same applies in the opposite direction, but to her surprise, the flowers in the world of Through the Looking Glass can speak, and they're very critical, very picky, and very aware of their choices. While they also make assumptions, thinking Alice to be a flower like them, yet unlike them, they reveal that most of the time they don't speak because they feel there simply isn't anybody worth speaking to. Alice then realizes the flowers have recognized her as someone worth talking to, perhaps because she has praised their beauty and simply wished to be able to communicate. She also has humility and a desire to understand. When this card comes to you, don't make assumptions about people, creatures, or beings who seem too different for you to be able to communicate with. There's always a way to bridge the gap between us. If you request for these beings to speak with you and stay open to that possibility, there will be communication. Is this making sense? This is especially important when working with the plant kingdom. Be a person worth communicating with. Open your heart and mind and express your desire. In that way, new bonds and cords of understanding can grow between the human world and the wonders all around us. You are being asked not to make assumptions. Be open to the possibilities that seem to be outside of any rational or reasonable expectations. Attempts to communicate with beings from other realms, within nature, spiritual planes, or even just humans, it's thought there's no chance of speaking to or being understood by. Be open and express the desire for communication. Be more lateral and less literal about the ways communication can take place. Be a being worth communicating with. It'll go far. This is probably talking about your journey into understanding what's going on in your home right now, right? Without getting too personal, things that we've been talking about and working on. I told you specifically, do not, New England Dirt Roadie, I'm in. I'm totally in. Going to promote it. I wanted to talk to you about the pendulum thing we were talking about after Deb's reading real quick, if you could stick around. Specifically, particularly, I asked you or warned you against speaking to the attachment entity that's in your home. That's what I'll say about that. That doesn't mean you can't reach out to communicate, even if you can't hear some kind of communication. We talked about the automatic writing. That would be a great place to start once you get the box you ordered with the protection mechanisms in there. You are being communicated with. The problem is you're expecting to hear it. You're expecting to hear the communication, right? So this is you opening yourself up more to other kinds of communication, dreams, the automatic writing, synchronicities, like, numbers on the clock, or, you're thinking of your ancestors and then you end up watching a movie. I don't know, like you're thinking of a deceased loved one and someone on a movie comes on that looks like them or has the same name or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Being more aware of that type of communication from your team, because they are trying to get through to you, get a hold of you, and trying to protect you from the other nonsense that's going on in your home right now. But you have to be open to receive. You can't be so focused. And this is hard because I'm not going to say it publicly. You know that. But like the hard things you're going through, it's hard to see past those things, right? It's hard to see past the fact that someone you love very much has a giant, very lower vibrational attachment that's kind of compelling them to behave in a certain way that's destroying your relationship. It's hard not to live in that and like only focus on that. Like, how do I fix this? What do I do? But the universe is telling you, like, take a break from that negativity for a minute and open yourself up to something so much bigger. You are receiving the downloads and answers you're looking for, at least, somewhat, but not enough for it to really move you forward because you're so intently focused on this one thing, right? I want you to start the automatic writing exercises the minute you open your box. All right. And we'll talk more about this privately of what's in there and what you can do. But for now, like dream interpretation, as soon as you open your eyes in the morning, start writing the first things that come to your mind, 3 to 5 sentences, close the book, wait 2 weeks, do this every day. It will make sense to you. It'll be just like this reading. Meditation probably isn't going to be it because a lot of people, it takes a lot to meditate. I cannot sit there, but I'll tell you what I do use, guided meditations. And I'll send you some that I think are important and that you can really start to work with in the vein of open communication, better communication with your team, with your guides, your ancestors, your angels, and your dolls. I mean, seriously, all types coming through, but you're blocking inadvertently by, and I want to say rightfully so, like understandably so, by focusing on this, when really the main thing you have to do is take your focus off of that and put it up there. Okay. If that makes sense. I will send you some meditations tonight. Yeah, it will help. I'm telling you, I use them all the time. They're the one thing that helped me, that I refuse to miss. Every night I listen to some sort of guided meditation in my sleep. I have to, until I wake up and I'm like, what is this? And throw my headphone across the room. Usually about 6-7 hours I can listen before I get annoyed. Okay. Who's next? Oh, New England Dirt Roadie, you had messaged me the other night about possibly coming on live and divining. And I think that would be amazing. I'm only taking 1 week off. So the second, I will not be doing afternoon talk. And then 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, Monday the 8th, there will be no pre-recorded uploads, but I will be back to work for Tuesday the 9th for Afternoons Walk if you wanted to come on and do that. Or we can make it a whole different stream, and I'll have to, finagle the time maybe on a Sunday or whenever we can get together and do that, because I think that's an amazing idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it. And we can talk about the curved banana cult. Promote that, get it out there. I was thinking along the same lines earlier.
Heather B is next, then Jules.
Heather, I'm going to use the Queen Mabe Oracle. Oh, we'll be here. We still have lots of work to do as a collective. Love an action plan. I know you do. Ghost Dragons, would you do me a quick favor? Go back through the chat as far as you can go and just remove any comments that might be deemed inappropriate. I have a feeling that because of things that have been going on, someone's going to come in and try to catch me. And it's no offense against you guys if he removes a comment. It's said, it's been discussed, but I want to make sure that I'm squeaky clean just for tonight. Huh? Oh, no, it's just the headphone in my ear. I'm a side sleeper, so I keep going to roll over. But I got to tell you, I do sometimes wake up to like EVP phenomenon in the earbud that like I'm listening to, say, a communication to be with my guides while I'm in the astral territory. And suddenly I'll wake up to growling and I'll think that I'm I was like, what are you talking about? I got you. I'll think that I'm watching, like I fell asleep watching the ID channel or travel channel or something. And that does happen often. But some weird things have been happening in my personal life that I'm reluctant to talk about. I may bring them up, at a later date. Yeah, no, we've been good. I just worry. That threw me off. And I wonder why somebody would come at me with that specifically. Again, I don't like meshing my personal life in with Gemma Jade, my personal opinions and ideas. So I think what I'm going to have to do is when I watch YouTube, go in under my other account. So when I leave comments, people don't see my comments and come and try to attack me on my channel, because Gemma Jade, the brand, Gemma Jade, is impartial. I don't have an opinion about politics. I try really hard to the best of my human ability, my flawed ability, to not put any of my ideas out there. Because my goal is to bring people together, not to alienate. But I do make comments sometimes. I get aggravated at some things that I'm seeing, and I'll go in as Gemma Jade, not even thinking about it, and I'll make a comment like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, one way or the other. And then someone might see that, click on my name and see that I have a channel, and then come in and try to mess with me about it. All right. Heather, you got Roses Have Thorns, card number 32. Yes, they do. Oh, I love that song too. Who sings that? Poison. Transcend prickly defenses and courageously connect. Ghost Dragons, you don't have to go through every single comment, but maybe since that person came in and just make sure it didn't get weird. Heather, Rose's thorns are not proof of her sharpness, but of her voluptuous sweetness that is too rare, too full, and too generous to go unguarded. Similarly, many precious souls were gravely wounded in their past, causing them to erect daunting defenses against people or situations that may otherwise wound them yet again. You are one such soul, or you are presently encountering the barbed barricade of such a one. I timed Smoochie out like 2 weeks ago, but it was no hard feelings. Or perhaps, Heather, both those statements are true. For those with emotional scars or wounds, love is often hidden behind formidable iron bars, locks, safes, and swords, or to use yet another metaphor, a maze. Like a labyrinth of cold metal, a relationship can take time to navigate from its austere outer rim to its welcoming innermost heart. If you are determined and lucky enough to finally reach the center, it will likely look very different than the place where you began, warm and soft rather than cold and hard. To come full circle with our metaphors, you will have endured the thorns long enough to discover the rose. While a prickly dynamic may be showing up for you in a romantic relationship, it can also show up in friendships and work relationships, and even in regard to your personal goals and desires. Your hackles may raise at times if you are afraid of getting hurt, abused, disappointed, slighted, embarrassed, or abandoned. Of course, this is just as true for others as it is for you. You'll be wise to ask yourself, Heather, who has their defenses up in this situation and why? Is it you? Is it someone else? Or is it both? Don't stop looking when you discover the thorns. Look further, because remember, the rose is there as well. Have compassion with yourself and others for the past pain that has lent itself to these forbidding defenses. But don't continue to give your power away to the illusion that such defenses are all there is. Place your attention not on the prickly thorns, but on the velvety softness of the rose, even if you can't quite see it yet. Know this: love is more important than safety. Vulnerability is more precious than power. True courage is never the protective prick of the thorn. It's always the fearless generosity of the rose. I do feel like this is something that you've been doing. And I feel like it's a big lesson for you. And I'm a little like breathing heavy because I get it. And I feel like this is the lesson you're learning, right? Sometimes we end up dating the potential, and this may not be romantic for you, but I'm going to talk about it in a romantic sense, and you can interpret it, however it resonates with you. But this is the best way to put it. As light workers, we will always see the light in somebody. We'll always see it, whether we physically, like I do, like see the light, or like their aura, the light surrounding them, or we just see the good in them. We see their potential to be this, that, or the other. Then we realize that we've now dated the potential. Same thing with a job. You see the potential for promotion, and a year in realize that your boss is not interested in promoting anybody except their family members, right? For instance, what do? Do we keep pushing and saying, I know they're a good person at heart, I'll just keep giving them everything? No, we have to draw a line somewhere. We have to draw a line somewhere and turn the compassion and the expectance and the belief in that person's goodness onto ourselves and say, we are a great, amazing person. We don't need to deal with somebody who hasn't connected with that part of themselves yet. In any situation in your life, Heather, if you feel like you've given too much, it's because you have. Okay? We don't just wake up feeling that way out of the clear blue sky for no reason. What the universe wants you to ask yourself is, are you 100% sure that you've done everything you're comfortable with doing to salvage this relationship, this, experience, whatever it is? And if you have, then where do you go from here? You can't continue giving all of yourself and receiving nothing. There's no reciprocity. Relationships are, you have to put 100 into the relationship and 100 into the person. There's no 50-50 here. If you can't do that, there has to be a reason why. So is it you or is it the other person? Have you done it and it wasn't given back? Or have you been afraid to do it and maybe that's why? Do you know what I mean? And only you'll know this in your situation. I have a feeling I know it, but I'm not going to put it out there because I don't know for sure and it's not my place. If this is not a reciprocal relationship because the other person refuses to reciprocate, where do you go now? You cannot stay in this state hoping and praying for change that probably is not going to come, or that when it does come, you're not going to see it. There's a dynamic now in whatever this relationship is: business, friendship, kinship, romantic. The dynamic is Heather gives, and expects, because you're, we don't do it for the thank you, but of course you hold the door for someone you want to hear thank you, sure. And 9 times out of 10, you will. What about when 9 times out of 10 you don't? Takes you 4 hours to cook dinner. You don't get a thank you. You're like, okay, maybe that person was tired. The next week, you do all their laundry, wash, dry, fold their clothes, put them away, take another 5 hours to cook dinner. They come home, don't even acknowledge it while they're eating. How many times do you do this? Our soul says, well, they're good and deep down. I know what they're capable of. But guess what? They're not doing that for you because the dynamic now has shifted where you're expected to do these things and they're not expected to do anything but take. You have to somehow find a way to get yourself out of this. Again, even if it's over years, I will never say just leave, just walk away. You can't just walk out of a job if that's your livelihood. It's how you pay your bills. You can't just leave a long-term relationship. You know, there's so much that goes into it. Just leaving is almost never possible in any situation. Sometimes we're lucky enough that we can just ghost someone, but it's very rarely that simple. But you have to start making a plan. Is this going to be the rest of your life, this non-reciprocal energy? There's no reciprocity? Or do you know that you deserve better and can find better and will find better and start slowly not giving them a taste of their own medicine? It's not about revenge, but just pulling your energy back. Okay, you don't appreciate that? That's fine. Have someone else do it. I'll put my energy into doing this instead for me. That's what you're being pushed to. Take that energy that is not being given, transmuted, and given back to you to something they're not making anything of it. They're just wasting it, letting it fly away. They expect it. Feed me, feed me, feed me more. I'm not going to give you anything. And take it and give it to yourself and turn it into something beautiful. Put it into meditation, exercise, starting that business, taking that class, whatever makes you happy. Because this cannot be making you happy. And you deserve happiness. We're all put here to experience happiness. The pursuit of happiness. No, it is the happiness. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the reading. Who's next?
Jules.
Jules, I would like to use... I'm going to use Celebrity Spirit. Okay, good. Again, it's not like the universe is like you have to get up and pack your bags and walk out or pack your office up and leave. But you should have it in the back of your head that this person or this situation and or is a waste of energy. And you will become depleted. And then that's when you start becoming physically ill. So don't do that to yourself. You deserve better. It's a crummy place to be, you know, I know, but sometimes we just have to face the reality and not the potential. Jules, card number 25. Audrey Hepburn, Radiate Love. Innocent Heroine is her life title. Nutslap and, Eris did not want a reading. Also, ingenue, fashion icon and humanitarian. Audrey Kathleen Rustin was the daughter of a baroness born on the 4th of May, 1929 in Brussels and died on the 20th of January, 1993 of appendix cancer. She was an astrological Taurus. Audrey was a British film actor, fashion icon, model, and humanitarian, and was recognized as the third greatest female screen legend in the golden age of Hollywood. Unfortunately, she also experienced great sadness in her life. As a young girl, Audrey lived through the horrific evil occupation of the Netherlands by the German army in 1940. It has been written she supported the resistance by giving, quote, underground concerts to raise money, delivering the underground newspaper, and taking messages and food to downed Allied flyers hiding in the woods. For beautiful eyes, look for the good in others. For beautiful lips, speak only words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone. I love it. When Audrey came into the seance, we, the sitters, were quiet and listened intently when she spoke, as if she demanded the attention with her presence. Her energy came across strongly, and even though she was tiny, she had a steely personality and soul, as if she knew exactly what her life was all about and had done it a million times before. In many ways, Audrey reminded me of a very old and very wise soul. From what she said, she was passionate about people's rights and really cared about the humanitarian work she did throughout her life. She disliked cruelty and saw everyone as equal, and it was no surprise Audrey Hepburn had a passion for the underdogs of the world. When you draw out this card, it means that you have the power, Jules, to show the world you have class and sophistication as you make people notice when you make an appearance. Hey, Ashley. or enter a room. Once you tap into this energy, you exude everything you do with unforgettable grace, intellect, elegance, confidence, and style because you have the integrity to set your plan in motion. It's also telling you to be playful in any given situation as you have all the abilities to achieve anything you want done with your magnetic energy that makes you feel good, happy, and playful. With this energy, it'll be easy for you to attract your wants and needs with hardly any effort, like an adorable gamine. Gamine, sexy, appealing, and teasing. What this card is saying is it's time for you to go after what you want. Okay. Being kind is one thing, wanting to champion for others, having people's backs and being the amazing soul that you are, that is definitely honorable. But what does Jules want for Jules? Because the universe is offering it to you on a silver platter right now. Is it going to take work? Yes. Is it going to take time? Lots. Are you willing to put the work behind it? Tell the universe, talk to it, write it down. This is what I want. These are the steps. This is when I'm going to start. I'm going to take them now. Tell the universe you expect deliverance within a year, a reasonable amount of time. Now is not the time to be shy with people. I feel like if you're going to have many opportunities in the next 6 weeks to really seize the moment, to seize the opportunity, grab it and run with it and make something beautiful out of it. I don't know what this is. It may even end up being something that you least expect, like you have no plans of doing whatever this is, but you're like, you hear someone talking about needing someone to do XYZ and you're like, oh, I want to do that. And you jump on it and it leads to like me. I wrote in a comment in Missing Persons Mysteries 4.5 years ago, so-and-so sounds like the nicest person on the internet based on his voice. Within a month, I was contracted to write for Missing Persons Mysteries. That was my first job. Within 2.5 years, a writing job landed on my desk. I was a best-selling author. I was just coming on YouTube to vent because I was lonely. But I saw the opportunity, I grabbed it, and that's when I realized this is what I wanted. So I feel like you're not even aware of what it is you're trying to achieve right now. You're kind of just going through the motions. But in the next 6 weeks, during this eclipse, during the retrograde, the opportunity is going to present itself, and it's going to be glaringly obvious what it is. It may be scary. You may think to yourself, why is my first instinct to jump on this? I don't know anything about this. Do it anyway. Take the chance. Take the leap of faith and know the universe has got your back. This is something that's going to change your life if you take the opportunity right then and there. No procrastinating, no thinking about it, no discussing it. Take it. And make no apologies for it. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone.
Next is nut slap.
But Jules, all that changes now, okay? I think that that's what it is. You have no idea until it comes up. Then you're going to be like, oh, crap. Deadpool's accurate. I love when you say that. And people think it's so funny, too. It's so cute. Nut slap, I'm using the Oracle of the Divine Circus. No, don't do that. Jules, I know this is your favorite deck. I didn't see it when I was looking for a deck for you, so I do apologize. All right. Luckily, only one deck fell over, guys, so give me a second to just pick this up. I have no room. It's really ridiculous. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and I think that's what it is. Anna said, you can do anything you set your mind to. I really believe that. It just doesn't happen as fast as we'd like it to sometimes because the universe, God, whatever you want to call, is on an eternal timeline. So 50 years is nothing, 10 years is nothing. To us, it's forever. It's an eternity almost. Yep, that is true. I'm going to snap if more cards start falling. So let's just do that. Pixie Poirot. Card number 36, Nutslap. Within you is an intelligence that helps you adapt to various life circumstances and situations. You might do this consciously or unconsciously, but the point of any type of adaptation is survival. The Pixie Poirot card brings you a message. There is more meant for you in this life than merely surviving. Sir Nutslap, are you listening? Because I've been telling you this for at least a year. Okay, I'm not saying I told you so, except I did. You might do this, I said that already. The Pixie Poirot card brings you a message. There's more meant for you in this life than merely surviving. You are actually meant to thrive. The Oracle reminds you that you thrive most fully, abundantly, and deliciously when you're just being you. Not the version of you that someone else prefers, nor the one that helps you fit into the crowd, but just you as you have always been. Even if that doesn't seem like enough for some people, it's more than enough for you to have the life you deserve that would bring you the most peace, happiness, and love. When the Oracle of Pixie Poirot comes to you, it's time to get back to the essence of you. It might be time to go back to the things you dreamt about in childhood, or something that really feels like it expresses the true you, but that you cast aside for some very logical and sensible reason or another. That might be a talent, passion, or lifestyle you are pursuing, or a deep-seated need to create or express yourself through art, clothing, music, or dance. It's time to reclaim it. From little dreams and childhood fantasies, a full-grown life purpose will blossom. Even if it seems fanciful rather than practical, don't drop the ball. Give yourself a chance to see and be seen and to live and thrive as the real you. You are you for good reason, not by error, by oversight, or by mistake. Love yourself and let yourself live, thrive, and express the original genius of you. Nutslap. This is you thinking that, I don't want to call you out, but you may be in the next few weeks, especially with the energy coming in, again, the eclipses, the retrograde, everything going on. You may be thinking like, it was fine to dream of that when I was a kid, but there's no way that's happening now. And very rarely is that the case. My writing, for example, I never thought in a million years that at 38 years old, I was going to be a writer. I was like, my time is over. I'm never going to have this opportunity. Until you believe in yourself, though, and you believe that you are going to achieve some goal or dream or have some wish granted, the universe isn't going to believe either. Here's the thing. You have too many people around you who are comfortable with the way things are, and you tend to fall into that comfort. We do it as human beings. We tend to lean on it, and then we become comfortable, so comfortable that we never branch out. That's what's happening here. You know you want better, you know you deserve better, you know you can achieve better, but you're comfortable where you are, so you'll deal with that tomorrow. The thing is, how many tomorrows before a year's passed, 2 years, 3 years, the next thing you know, it's 5 years later when you could have started 5 years ago, now you're just starting now. That's the energy here. If there's something you want, go out and find a way to at least take the first step in getting it, and the universe will meet you more than halfway. It'll meet you right there at that first step and tell you what to do as the second step. Also, I don't see this as you part of your personality usually, but I feel like in the next 6 weeks, you're going to be kind of stifling yourself. I don't know if it's like not to offend somebody or just because you're like, well, why should I disagree with that person? They don't care. It's not like, because what you have to say is important. You're worthy. It needs to be said. Somebody needs to tell this person to stop their mess or whatever it is. It might as well be you. Don't wear a mask around anybody. You are who you are. You're beautiful. You shine. I love your personality. I think you're hilarious. You have the same kind of mind as me, except you're a dude. So I think you're awesome. You're like me, but a guy. So don't let anyone suppress that in you or make you feel like you have to be a certain way to go here or act a certain way to hang out with this person. Like, if that's how people feel, screw them. You're better off alone anyway. Who's next?
Nick Y. I don't know if he's still here.
I don't believe he's still here. Nikki, if you're still here, let me know.
Okay, then Ralph, are you still here? Let me know. And then Nicole, are you still here?
Nicole should still be here.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and do Nicole until the other ones respond.
Nicole, I'm using myths and mermaids. There it is. Coffee. All right. Nicole, you got Hamadryad Lake. Card number 32. A vulnerable nymph rests herself beside a mystical lake. It's a beautiful, magical place, and she finds herself drawn into a false sense of security, not knowing of the deception waiting for her below the surface. Divination message in the upright: beware of deception and enchantment. Nicole, a female with bad designs will seek to lead you astray when you are at your most vulnerable. She may be enchanting, but don't allow her to lure you down an improper path. Though you may feel defenseless, know that as long as you stay true to yourself, you won't be led astray. Keep your wits about you. The nefarious female in question may not be a stranger. She may be someone you already know whose goals are at odds with your own. Whether she's a trusted colleague, a longtime acquaintance, or a dazzling new friend, do not be deceived by the glamour of what she proposes. If a situation sounds too good to be true, trust your gut instincts. It is a deception. This is extremely specific for an oracle card. Welcome back, Mark. Nicole, I don't usually assign male or female in oracle, but this specifically says it's a female. It could be a male with a lot of femininity in their chart. Probably not, but maybe. Okay. Nicole, I really hope you're listening. You usually pop in and out. That's why I chose to read for you, even though you didn't answer. So here's the deal. Someone is trying to deceive you. Somebody is trying to tell you that like something's good for you, or you're not seeing. It's like, I don't want to say the word because I'm not supposed to, but I might as well after all this tonight. Gaslighting. Somebody is gaslighting you into thinking that something is good for you. And I do feel like it's a relationship, whether it's romantic or not. This person, you're going to them because you trust them. You're going to them for advice, or maybe you're just meeting them and you're just asking their take on it because they seem chill and down to earth. No, like this person purposefully is setting you up to fail. And I feel like you're so vulnerable and just looking for some connection somewhere in this specific situation that you're willing to believe that. You want to believe you're not being lied to. You want to believe you're not being deceived. So of course you're waiting for someone to tell you that, so you don't have to think about it. You don't have to act. You don't have to move out of your comfort zone. Don't be deceived. If something seems too good to be true, at least for you in the next couple of weeks, it is. You already know the answer to your own question. You just want to hear someone tell you something different so you don't have to deal with it. Not judging or indicting. I'm in the same boat a lot of the time. Who's next?
Next is Smoochie.
I think Netter said he did not want a reading, but he says that sometimes because he thinks it like puts me out.
Well,
Smoochie, I'm going to use... Go ahead.
So I'll leave him on a list, and if he says no when you come to him, that's up to him.
Smoochie, I'm going to use Raven's Wand. Dragon Girl Z. Oh, do you guys want to see the shirt that we got, Ghost Dragons? This is your donation money at work.
It is pretty cool. That is so cool. It will be worn. I wear them all.
Front and back. Nicole, I don't know if you're on a delay, but this was your card, honey. All right, Smoochie. Yeah, thank you. I thought he could use a new t-shirt. They had it in like a more of a greenish, which is the one I thought I had ordered, but I like that color. It looked nice with your eyes. And they had like an orange, which I didn't really care for the orange.
Like the one behind us? Well, it's not orange, but...
No, this one was like bright orange. It just didn't look like it would look nice on you. They have a collared one that's like a brownish grayish color with orange, and it has a collar. It's short sleeved. It's really cute. You're going to get that one next.
Stop it.
No, we love it. It's the donations. They've got to go somewhere else sometimes, you know. I buy decks with them and stuff, but sometimes it's nice to treat your friends to a little gift. All right, Miss Smoochie, you got strength renewed in the reversed shadow position. Grace has a profound affinity with water and just as well, seeing the waves crashing around her. She balances fire and water, a seemingly impossible feat, but Grace is the most dedicated of witches, although sometimes to her own detriment. On occasions, she seems aloof or distant because of her dedication is all. The sublime and the epic are worthy values, but so are the humble and the humorous. Stop taking certain things so seriously. I know you like to be sarcastic and joke around, but I feel like sometimes that will work against you. Not in this situation. There's a situation here that you're putting, it's not that you shouldn't take it seriously. It's a serious situation, but I feel like you don't even really need to be involved in whatever this is. You know, you want to help, you're reaching out, you're like, okay, I know the perfect answer to this, you know, but nobody's going to listen. It's like, these are lessons that these other people have to learn. Smoochie needs to focus on Smoochie and what's important to Smoochie. I feel like you are going to be drawn to get involved in someone else's mess in the next few weeks. Don't do that. I wouldn't say be sarcastic or like make a joke out of it, because I do see someone on this side, like over here, really struggling with something. But even though you have the answers, this person is not going to listen. So the best thing to do would be to detach yourself from that very draining, very toxic energy. Let them make their own mistakes. And if you want to, throw in a cute little I told you so in a couple of months when it blows up on them. Don't give your advice. That's energy. Okay. Also, like, I feel like this is a situation with someone you probably are close to, because I see you like blowing up. Like the obvious answer is this, like, obviously. And it may be obvious to them, but they don't want to confront it right now. They want to be in their comfort zone. You have to allow that without tearing yourself apart watching it happen. I don't know how that makes sense to you, but it will resonate. Who's next?
Sorry. Actually, New England, if he doesn't want it, then you can do Ashley. And then if you want to do KC's, you're done after that.
I'm going to do KC. And I did tell Vera as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, I know this is going to be a hard one, Smoochie, because I literally see you losing it. Like, how many times do you have to go through the same freaking thing? Like, here's your opportunity. Here's your option. I'm here. We got this. Let's go. Or do this. Obviously, the person they know, honey. They know that what you're saying is true, but they are completely deaf to it. Deaf to it because they don't want to leave their comfort zone just yet. They need everything to blow up. And then they'll call you to pick them up out of the explosion and help them pick up the pieces. And that's your, you know, depending who it is to you and how you feel about that.
Okay.
Nicole, that's probably a good idea. Just don't. And I'm getting a little bit more of a nefarious thing, though. Like more of a nefarious reason why this person would be trying to get you to do this. All right. Ashley, right? Or did I miss somebody?
Yeah, Ashley. Ashley, if you're listening, please let me know. I know she's here.
We'll do that's your daughter. We'll do a timestamp for her.
She may be dealing with the little one.
But
I'm sure she's listening because she watches it on her TV.
I'm going to use the shadows and light. I just have to get to it. I always take out too many decks, but I figure better too many than not enough, right? All right, baby dragon girl. Guys, nothing discourages me more than when I spend more than an hour working on a short and it ends up with 22 views over the course of 5 days. Can you guys please go give the shorts some love? The astrology gets pushed out a lot faster than the other stuff, and it's discouraging. It's only anywhere from like 6 to 60 seconds of your time to watch it and give it a like. And it means the world to me to keep me going. So When I go back and look at the views, and I've done hours of work, you don't see it, but like the lip syncing, that takes practice, that takes a lot, that takes learning and studying, and it's very discouraging for me. So I'd ask as a favor to please just go through the shorts, give them some love, please. I try to keep them interesting. Ashley, you got Lady with Bosch Egg. This card comes up constantly. Ancient Wisdom, card number 31. The lady with the Bosch egg is the one in this lifetime who has been chosen to keep safe and sometimes keep secret deep esoteric knowledge. Throughout history's most troubled times, there have always been courageous things ensuring that sacred knowledge was kept alive. Even though the world may burn and disasters befall humanity and wars take down cities, there will always be those brave souls who will take the knowledge represented by the Bosch egg, camouflage it, and keep it safe so that at a later time, when the world is finally ready, we can all learn. The lady speaks. Ashley, my town is on fire. The night sky is full of screams and smoke, and I have done what I can to safeguard this treasure from the sacred library. I will keep it safe, record its wisdom, and ensure that these truths stay alive for a future time. I hope that you understand the history of the knowledge you crave and respect and acknowledge the freedom of the times you now live in and do the work yourself. It may be that at some time you too will find my egg and that you are the person chosen to speak of the knowledge others thought was lost. Or it may be that you are too a guardian of wisdom. If you are, know when to keep silent, what to keep to yourself, and know that some secrets come to light at the right time. I bring you now the symbols of the alchemists, the secrets of the Gnostics, and the wisdom of the magicians and the witches and the herbalists, all saved for this time in the strange form of this egg. Divination message, Ashley, it may feel like you are receiving wisdom from ancient sources and that some of its energy may feel unfamiliar to you or even dark. It's likely you're receiving messages from times when people like you, misfits and mystics, were oppressed and punished for their natural gifts. Explore at this time something to do with the Renaissance, medieval times, and understand that the knowledge was brought through to you. Keep it safe. Learn all that you can. Explore esoteric symbology, the history of magic and spirituality. Know that while you are safe, you may wish to keep silent about certain practices. Now, this is why I was like, oh, this card comes up all the time, because this is too specific for me. Like, if you're into this type of research and you're being drawn to it, Ashley, of course, by all means, look it up. There's a different message attached to this card, though, every time I pull it. And that's because the author of the cards, my girl, Lucy Cavendish, got a little too, what's the word? Exact with this card. Like, there's no leeway here for message. Luckily, I draw in your team. That's how I can get them. Because this would make no sense to someone who isn't studying these things now. You know, and that's too specific. That's what I meant. Ashley, you're going to be learning some things over the course of the next few weeks about certain people around you in your life. And you have to decide with your innate wisdom, your intuition, your instinct, and with the help of your team, whether you know it or not, whether or not you want to bring these truths to the surface at this time. Does your neighbor really need to know her husband's cheating with the housekeeper? That's for you to decide. You know, I don't know, like there's some secret knowledge here that you are gaining about the people around you. And I feel like it's like intuitive hits. It's not even like someone's coming to you and telling you something. It's like people are talking and you're like, BSer, lie. Ooh, you're a liar. And it's all just coming in. This is you opening up spiritually. It happens to people as they come into the stream. And I'm not giving myself any credit, but the stream will do that. Where you'll start getting these intuitive hits, these downloads, and they'll just seemingly come out of nowhere. Please try not to just immediately confront someone like, hey, why are you lying about that? It could end up causing problems. Before you expose someone's secret, before you prove wrong something that everyone thought was true for a long time, make sure you really think it through. Check in with your energy, check in with the room, you know, check the room, so to speak, before you come out with this, because it could end up being bad for you when you're the one who's just trying to help. Maybe now, the next month and a half is not the best time to be confronting people about lies. Lies will come out as they're meant to. If it's something very, very serious that like obviously like someone needs to know, then yes, give your knowledge and give your wisdom about it as well. Not just the facts, your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas. But for the most part, the universe is asking you to just take these intuitive hits in stride. Know that you're right. Believe in your own innate inner knowledge. You don't need to look it up. You know it. You don't need to verify it with the person. You know it. Straight from the horse's mouth does not apply. You already know. What you share, that's a different story. Be really, really careful with that, because people could end up turning against you, even though you're just trying to help and you're not lying. Behold! Yeah, Nicole, that's definitely the situation. Just don't be a tool like in someone else's game. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not a pawn in someone's chess game. Like, you're a human being. All right, let's do Casey and Vera. And Mike, if you'd like a reading, because we're going to end. What I want to talk to you guys about really quick is, one more time, I'm going to go over it. Hopefully tomorrow night at midnight, Ghostdragonzw will be doing my replays as usual at midnight Eastern time. On Monday, we're going to have the 11 a.m. upload, which is military and high strangeness, bizarre military encounters. Guys, I covered everything. Bigfoot at military bases, motherships over military planes, the jinn, demons, giant feral cats, like everything is in that video. It's pretty long. It's almost an hour. I think it's an hour and 3 minutes. The 12 noon upload for the members, which is public for everyone to watch. Don't let the members only title fool you. And I try not to put it there till afterwards, so I privatize the video, is the Ketty Cabin murders at Cabin 28. This is an old case in California that still has never been solved. It happened in 1981. And for some reason, I just felt in my element covering this case. I love true crime. So that's what we're going to be discussing. And then Tuesday at some point, I will privatize that video after it's been out for at least 24 to 26 hours. Then it'll go to members only. So I try to push it out there and get as many views as possible. Guys, Ketty Cabin, it's true crime, not paranormal, but boy, is it an insane case. There's actual police cover-ups. There's 6 people that may have been involved. There's like 3 victims. There's confessions. There's sketches done by someone who seemingly was a cartoon artist, because guys, it's insane. All right. So please check those out and give love to the shorts, please. All right, Miss Casey. I'm going to use gentle creatures. I am off for the week. I'll be writing my new book, Gone, Mysterious Disappearances. And probably writing for the following Monday after the 8th, but there will be no uploads on the 8th, and there will be no, I will not be at Afternoon Talk on the 2nd. It's up to Ghostdragonzw if he would like to do that stream with a guest. No Afternoon Talk on the 2nd.
You can take a break. I'm going to take a break.
Enjoy your weekend, guys. Yeah, no, absolutely. I just need a break from the pre-records, from all of the live streams. We will still have live intuitive oracle next week. Still going forward with that. I just need time to, like I said in the shorts, if y'all have been keeping up with them, I need to decompress a little bit. I'm feeling overwhelmed. My workload is crazy. Still waiting for a contract. Still have no income. It's really bad. So I need to refocus, redouble my efforts, and deal with that better than I've been, you know. Let some of this energy drain out of me, and I'll be right back to my happy-go-lucky usual self on the 15th with pre-recordeds for you guys. But I will still see you in Intuitive Oracle next Friday. Yeah, I just need a little breather. All right, Miss Casey. Loss. I'm actually going to take my extra few minutes that they're not home and do my yoga. Because when the baby's here, my little guy's here, I don't really have to, I can't do yoga, you know. He wants to do it with me. I can't concentrate. So while they're gone, I'm going to do it tonight and have a big bowl of ice cream. KC, grief moves among us like a figure in a foggy river. This gentle creature mourns the loss of his winged friend. Even knowing that the moth had a short life cycle, there is still the feeling of loss. Losing someone to death, distance, or disagreement leaves an empty space inside. This card illustrates that everyone mourns in their own way. One One turns away to gaze into the coming light, hoping for another winged beauty. The other looks directly at the moth, remembering the beauty of its dancing gold wings. Each is right. Let no one tell us how to grieve our losses, even the ones we knew had to come. Lean into your emotions to let them flow through you. Sadness will not end you. Rather, it will wash out the pain so you can begin to honor what was. What is remembered lives? What is remembered lives? You will move on from this point carrying the good memories with you. I don't feel like you're actually about to lose someone like to death. Casey, I feel like with all the growth, all the change that you've been through in the last 2.5 years, that I've been reading for you monthly and reading for you weekly in these streams, and all of the conclusions you've drawn, like all of this change and growth, this wisdom that you've gained and achieved is actually moving you towards something now. It's like you were dealing with it, you were struggling through it, you were mourning it, grieving it, whatever it was, and then you came to the realization of it. Now, what do you do with it? We've been asking that for months. This month, I don't think it's going to be in the next 2 weeks, but in the next month or two, you're going to come to the realization of the lessons. You are learning the lessons through this time of the retrograde of like what you're supposed to do with everything that's happened to you. And you're moving forward with those actionable steps behind it, expecting the universe to deliver and meet you more than halfway. I'll be doing May readings next week and the week after, so we'll get more in depth, but this is great. This is you finally not only understanding everything for the most part is to the best of your ability, but moving forward with it. And this is what I've been waiting for 2.5 years for you. This is exciting. And you know, I'm here for you. So I don't see this as literal death, but if anyone's like really sick or like, you know, make sure things aren't left unsaid. If that's the case, I don't see it, but I need to put that out there just in case. It's nagging me in the back of my mind. Okay, I'm going to read for Vera, and then we're going to move on. I am tired. I've got yoga, and I would like to go to bed.
Oh, Mike didn't want a reading?
He didn't answer. Mike, would you like a reading? I could read for you really fast. All right, this is Vera. Victorious. It's good to ask for help. And I am using the Dark Magic Oracle. Card number 12. We'll be here next week, Sir Mike, but I honestly don't mind one more card. So if you'd like one, just let me know now. It's not a big deal to do one more. Vera. Would you want to experience your greatest strength alone? When Victorious appears, it's telling you that you can express your strongest display of strength in letting yourself be helped. If you feel overwhelmed by the pressure of other people's poor behavior, bullying, and demands, this card says it's time to ask for help. Let go of the need to hide and pretend it's not happening, as well as your attachment to fear and resentment or anger, and accept assistance. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of courage. Healthy choices resist peer pressure. With help, you're stronger than the sum of your parts. You can vanquish the situation that ails you. When others are cruel and unkind, this card says resist the urge to punish them yourself. The figures in the cards are like dark superheroes appearing to burn that which ails you. The dark energy around you, whether that be a bully or an enemy, is vanquished in regenerative, purifying flames. Note that this is symbolic and metaphorical, not literal. Obviously, we're not burning people alive, right? Not anymore. Eris, Eris says, question, what do you tell someone who thinks a person shouldn't mourn the death of a loved one? I tell that person that they're being really insensitive. Because I always feel that when someone passes, I'm always like, oh. But you have to consider that human beings are human beings, and most human beings feel that loss significantly. I would tell them that it's great that they're connected in that way, that they don't have to mourn, but they should never be putting that on someone else. Because it makes people feel some type of way about their own grief process and could really end up affecting them in the long run. So good for them that they don't feel the need to grieve or mourn, but that's just not the normal average human experience. You should never tell somebody that. It's never acceptable to tell someone how to behave, especially with something like death. Okay, Miss Vera, this is you turning your back on the people who are wronging you constantly, these toxic chaotic energied people. I don't know why you have a lot of them around you right now. You may not even realize it, but these are the betrayers, the people who constantly take, and never give. And it's like you've clocked them, but now what do? You know, you may want to rage out. There's something that could happen here in the next 2 to 4 weeks, maybe 6. I'd say 4 to 6 weeks, where you want to just explode. And the universe is saying, watch that, because that'll only show the universe that you have not gained the amount of wisdom that it initially thought you had. This is a great way to show the universe that you understand that karma is a real thing, and that the universe will take care of your enemies if you're doing the right thing and they're wrong. There is no reason for you to get involved in anything like revenge plots, or just, you know, even if, like, say you know someone in an abusive relationship, trying to literally make them leave the abuser is only going to blow up in your face. I've said this multiple times tonight. It's like, no matter how much you want to get involved, literally, like, do not get involved. And the reason is because the universe already has a plan rolled out, and you're going to end up getting hurt and caught in the middle. As hard as it's going to be in the next 4 to 6 weeks, bite your tongue, hold your breath, you know, put the energy somewhere else. Let the situation unfold. This person or these people have to go through this. They have to go through this toxicity. They have to make their own decisions. As far as someone who's being cruel and trying to, like, bully you or manipulate you, or someone who's just taking, you have to walk away from them. And even if you can't just say, okay, I'm out, and get up and leave, you have to start thinking of actionable steps to get yourself away from this human straw, this vampiric, energy draining piece of poop that does not belong to even breathe the same air as you. Once you've finally decided, for better or worse, you are walking away from this, and take that first step, just one, the universe will start moving people, places, and things into play to get you further away without you having to do much, except have the will and the strength to do it. Guys, I am out. I love you all so much. Please check out these shorts. 22 views, not a lot. I had more in here tonight. So remember, you guys are amazing. Hit me up, GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com. Leave positive comments. If there's any videos you've missed recently, go and check them out. Show me some love, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am on TikTok now. I have nothing posted except a picture of myself so people can see that it's me. It's Gemma Jade YT, 3 words, Gemma space Jade space YT, capital YT. I don't know if it matters, if they're case sensitive, but I'm going to be starting to put intuitive oracle, the weeklies and the monthlies, on TikTok as well once I'm back to work after my 10 days off. So 9 days now. Love you guys. Bye.